people you will probably ever meet. That, my friends, is Corey Stisser.
He's really here.
Thank you. I'm here. It's amazing.
Welcome to the show.
I'm honored. I'm thrilled to be here, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Totally. We've been trying to track you down ever since we had, well, for a while now, but then we were talking to, I want to say his name and then I lost it. Teacher.
Mr. Tadine. Yoda.
No. The other one. The old
Hyde?
Richard
Hyde?
Richard Hyde.
Crazy.
Who are you talking to Richard Hyde?
He was on the show.
Oh.
He was on the show a while ago.
Yeah, he was on the show.
Okay. Yeah,
and then, that's my boy. Like Richard Hyde, I love that dude. So we communicate from time to time, and he's like, hey, well, I can track down Corey and Steve and Jan if you want. I was like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Oh yeah.
You have to track down Jan.
We got to get Jan on the show.
She showed up on Facebook a couple months ago because people were posting the reels.
I work with Jan, so.
Yeah, and I was like, there she is.
There's the line.
The elusive Jan.
There's the line.
You on that Facebook page, the thread too, Corey. Like, I don't know if it was Steve. Somebody posted up a reel. No, Hyde was posting up reels. He was like,
old reels. Yeah.
He does it like once a year. Goes down memory lane and starts just to randomly post up reels. And the next thing you know, there's a Facebook thread of people. And then Jan showed up and was like getting all misty eyed. I was like, "That's Jan."
Okay, let's go ahead and we can go down memory lane right after we introduce Charlie B. Williams III.
What's up, guys? I'm here. I'm happy to be back. I'm
son.
My custom Chimeras shirt made by Mr. Dave T.
Cool.
The Chimeras crew. They gave it to me for speaking at the their event they had out at CG Cookie. It was really good. Corey Stisser was there. He showed up and came out because Corey's back.
All they did was extend your laundry day one more day. That's all they did.
Yeah, but I look really good in clothing too. So
yes,
kind of helping the brand.
Let's keep it that way. Oh, hey, Jack Kasperzak is here.
Hello.
Just
Just back from GZA Expo.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
I heard that went
some claps.
Awesome.
GZAexpo.com.
Can I get the studio to clap? Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I had a blast.
I was jealous I couldn't be there.
Welcome,
you guys on
Shiloh.
Instagram. Yeah. Oh, who's in there? Shiloh.
Shiloh's here. Whoever's in the chat room, there's a bunch of you guys in there. Give us a holler so we can.
Everybody do a
give you a little hootie
just
hoot.
say hi. Hello.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get the.
Did you say hootie hoo? Yes. What's up? What's up? 90s reference.
Let's go ahead and do this fun prompting.
No, you gotta do the hotline first.
Oh.
Yo, he's been doing that like 2 weeks in a row now.
So if you're watching live, you can go ahead and use the chat room both on YouTube or Twitch. Otherwise, if we're not here, you can go ahead and use a Sketch Zone hotline. That's 408-SKETCH-8, 408-753-8248. Ask your mom before calling. International callers, 011-408-753-8248.
Yeah, he's talking about Dave Etsy.
Welcome, Shiloh.
Shiloh, what's up?
Okay, so now that we did that, let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started.
Let's go.
I believe every day's a good day when you paint.
That's right, y'all. Last week we had a goat tennis player canoeing. Let's see what the nation did.
That was my high school mascot.
Boom! Zig's Corner. That's my boy. We met him this weekend.
Yeah, what is he doing?
That was the next one. That was the next one. He was there.
He's in violation right now.
That was that.
It's surprised
anyway,
right?
Zig, we got him. He's coming on the show in the next few weeks. He's a baller. If you guys aren't following him, go to Instagram.com/Zigs_corner. Follow him so you know what we're talking about in the next few weeks. Oh, hey. That's right. Peter Hahn style. gonna get to the drawings eventually. Yeah, Peter Hahn, he's a complete badass, and he's agreed to come on the show too. We just have to figure out the
Yes.
schedule.
Peter
Oh, really?
Hahn style.
Here we go.
Yes, we're getting Peter Hahn style.
Garrett Rivers.
Ooh.
No wonder we've been doing circles for hours. I like it.
Those faceless
The clouds are legit.
Yeah.
The goat's kind of ripped too.
They're all ripped.
That's what happens when you canoe a lot.
Going boats
But
off.
the goat's using a tennis racket, so I don't know.
That's right.
He's not
He's
moving
a goat.
anywhere.
He's buff from
Really nice to do there. You know?
I wanted to do this reflection thing on mine too. We'll see in a little bit, but
Yeah,
I did it on a iPad, and it just wasn't working right, so I just didn't put it in. Moving on. Very cool. I like it. This one's wacky.
I saw this
like
one.
that.
On the weekend.
By the way, let's go back here. Welcome, Garrett Rivers. I believe this is
I think that's one of the first one.
one. M. Mockhart. Your real name is M. Mockhart. There you go. Nice, wacky. I could see this on a sticker.
Yeah, I like that the water's self-contained, almost like a logo.
On a flat white background, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
Kinda nice.
Looks like it's a towel kind of being wrung out too, which is kind of
Yeah, that's right.
Got it.
Right.
Because it's wet.
Yeah.
And then look at like this goat is from the jungle because it's using like leaves to tie the rack
Bamboo.
to the pole.
Mm.
Yeah, bamboo. There you go. That's what.
I like that there's a number 7 on it, like it indicates he's racing. Like there's other people also.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally. I like it.
This next one.
Shiloh. Maestro, please.
We need to just get that as a sound effect.
Yeah, I thought Jack was gonna pull out some kind of sound effect. Like he gets his own sound effect.
So Shiloh is legit my hero.
He's pushing depth of field in this one.
Yeah, I like that. I like the.
Blurring images and stuff.
Shiloh, if you watch the progression of Shiloh, because even masters continue to
Laid it on thick this week.
Oh, hey, let me show you. This is what when dreams come true, because we haven't shown this artwork yet. Hey, there's Shiloh work right there.
He shows this every
buddy.
week.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Corey shows
buddy.
this every single week.
Every single week. That's my bragging piece.
Your
I'll tell you
bragging
guys
piece would be
I'll tell you-
Shiloh on the show. That'd be the true bragging piece.
Yeah, that's true. One of these days, maybe for Christmas. What are we gonna? Yeah, too much Carlos. Haha, no more.
Nice. And like they talk about Carlos in chat. It's great.
So yeah, what else is there to say? Come on, son.
It's a good one.
When I grow up, I want to be like Shadow.
It's a good one.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Hey,
Chris
the double
Tadine
Chris.
is in the house. Hello, sir.
Told Chris that where are you going to be
His
on?
ears were ringing, burning.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
I give it to Chris. Chris is still up. Congrats, Chris.
Well
for being
done.
up still.
I like this
Fun
one because
prompts? We're not
they,
seeing your screen.
Oh, my fault.
We don't have that problem on Twitch.
Apologies.
There we go.
Okay, I like this one.
This is funny. Is that supposed to be Serena?
Serena.
Yeah, Serena.
Yep. Why Serena? Because she's the GOAT, greatest of all time.
Nice.
Is that what that means?
It's
Yes, that's what that means. Yeah, yeah.
Never heard that.
I just you never wait. Back up, Jack. What? You never heard that?
Hey, I mean, guess I'm an old dude. I don't know.
Nope.
That's what they call
Michael
Michael Jordan,
Debate.
the GOAT, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Jack's
I
like
like this.
doing nothing for me. Moving on.
I like the pun.
No,
Well done.
I didn't get it when I first saw it. I realized it was Serena, but that kind of snuck up on me. So just you said it. I was like, that's funny. And look how the goat's looking at her. He's like kind of terrified. Like, I think she's making him roll her across this.
Yeah, it's looking a little. He's looking a little unwilling.
Like,
See, I like that. I wish it would have been Serena rowing the boat and move the real goat out of the picture and just double down on that pun.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's even better. Like he made it.
Serena's like, if you don't get out this boat, you're gonna catch these hands.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the goat. Get out.
Look at like he made her look so strong. And the hair is flowing
because she's so strong, dude.
She is.
No, I know. Thank you. It's good.
All right.
I love that there's a hashtag emoji. Hashtag goat emoji.
Yes.
That's true.
All right, that would have been funny if you would have had like.
Ooh, what's happening here?
Michael
This
Jordan.
is Emily's Doodles. And it says, I said I was sorry. You know how excited I get when you talk about tennis. I thought this was clever.
Flip the boat.
They flipped the boat.
No!
Well done, Emily. This one is from Francis Draws.
Is this his first time?
I need more. I need more. I like it, but I need more. I need more pencil lead. I think. It's a little hard to read.
Could have been. I wonder if it's a scan and it's looking like it missed a little.
Oh yeah. Scan is grayscale. You get more.
But otherwise, I do like it. It's a tennis ball.
It's cute.
About.
It's a cutie.
Hey, that's me.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
Look at you getting up in here with some canvas texture and some brush strokes.
you know,
Trying something new.
when your hero is Shiloh, you have to push the envelope.
And all you gotta do is add the tennis balls in the foreground.
Yeah,
Down
I
the
didn't.
field. There
See,
you go.
I did that. I took a cue from Shiloh. I did that.
Yeah,
But you got this. You got the rectangle pupils.
Hold on.
I like the fish. I like the fish.
Fish is
That's another tip I got
Fish.
from Shiloh. Shiloh's always adding cute
Other
little random
mini
characters that fit but don't mean that don't.
anything. It just back
Set pieces, if you will.
But yeah, I should have put some tennis balls on there.
You could have one right in front, right there. Boom, blur it
A
out.
little bit, or actually like a little welcome to the Shiloh show.
Or
just
you
a
could've
pile
just-
of a pile of
a
tennis
mound
balls in the back.
that made the whole boat uneven. So half of it's in the water because it's too many tennis balls.
Yeah.
Too many
Jack,
balls in the boat.
On the chat, Jack said, "Welcome to the Shiloh show." Dustin Pike says, "Move over, Carlos." Don't give these guys any ideas.
Missing a couple people this week.
And then we got
Ooh.
Jack.
It got a little messy. I'm admitting it got away from me. It's not composed well, but there's some good stuff.
What's this
That's
in the
kind of
box?
hard to do, isn't it? It's
A
like
hairy ass
Yeah, what
tennis
is
ball.
It's a hairy ass.
Yeah,
It's just a hairy ass.
yeah.
Wait, is one goat wearing pants and the other one not, or is that a shaved goat?
He's shaved.
Yeah, he's got like some patchwork going on.
Got it.
He's a little famished.
Yeah.
That backhand though, no matter they go.
What about it? There you go. Cool. So that's that.
All right.
Let's switch over to.
Before we go ahead and pick one, I got a little surprise for all y'all.
A surprise?
boy.
So yeah, before we pick a fun prompt.
Ooh, okay.
So GZA Expo kind of inspired me. We did a whole bunch of live fun prompts where we were giving people fun prompts, and people were drawing on the monitor, and they were doing it on the fly. And I got to thinking, as much as I love Steven Silver, why doesn't the Sketch Zone have its own fun prompt generator? So now we do.
Shut your face.
Wait, did you make a fun prompt generator in between now and...
Hang on. All right, so if you go to sketch.zone, which I'm at right now.
I was on the website today. I saw this already. This is great.
So you were snooping around. All right, so if you go to sketch.zone and you click on fun prompt, or go to sketch.zone/fun prompt, there is now a fun prompter.
Carlos,
you know what's funny is I was working on the website today, and
you didn't see this?
So now I also took a few little cues from we've done a good 30, 40 of these now, and I've learned a few things about what makes our fun prompts work and don't work. So yeah, we've got the check boxes that you can click on what you want and don't want. So say we run one, but now we had a habit that we really like pandas. So you can lock down the panda and change out other stuff.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So today, the very first time on the Sketch Zone podcast, Sketch Zone Fun Prompter 2018.
Yo, Chet, can you even tell us?
So, this is available for all of you out there to use. You can just go to sketch.zone and click on Fun Prompt. I'm working on a mobile version, so it works a little better on your phone. But here it is. So we can go ahead and pick one now.
Yes.
So
this is great.
So we've got, which categories do y'all want to use? We've got adjectives, animals, characters, actions, styles, and locations.
Hold on. I want to. I'm shocked. Hold on, I gotta. Yo, this wasn't in the show notes.
No, it wasn't. I wanted to make it a big surprise.
How about everyone in the chat? What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I can't flip to the chat, so you'll have to let me know what they say.
Because I just can't right now. Speak up, chat.
I like this.
I do too. Location, Justin.
And then on the same page, you can go down and see the current stuff.
Look at you.
So where does it pull its adjectives from? Do you have
just a hand curated list.
Curated.
Because that was another thing I noticed is you were getting some stuff in there that was not really working so well.
Yeah,
so
there was some.
I might go back and modify this list a little bit, but
some attention to detail. I like that.
So according to the chat, we have a couple things. So we have location,
location,
and action. Yes.
Just action and location
and animal.
And animal. Okay. Are we ready for our first Sketch Zone Fun Prompt?
Do we have a
drum? Be good.
I don't have
a. I've just played.
But see, now if it's not good, we can lock down the one we like and roll again. So
let's do it.
We've got a termite performing in a dojo.
Yo.
I
the best thing.
Like that.
The best fun prompt in weeks. Yo.
That's gold.
Jack, you're amazing.
That's gold, Jerry.
Let's go.
All right, folks. It looks like we did it on the first try. We're doing a termite performing in a dojo.
This reminds me of my improv days. Can I get the name of the location? The bathroom.
The chat is pleased.
Let's go to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe every day's a good day when you got a fun prompter.
Yes.
Oh man, I don't even know if we need to do like
we're done with the show
things. Like this is we've officially
it's like church.
We've officially topped everything that has happened.
Jack just went for a Sketch Zone moment there.
I went busy. I was busy.
Listen, that is.
Yo, when did you have time to do this? Or has this been in the making?
I didn't. I
didn't think you did. You just came back from a convention all week.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope my job is not listening. I did a little bit of this on company hours. Yes, there we go.
Nation, we have our own prompt scrambler.
Yo, we're totally in-house now.
Exactly.
We're in-house.
Shiloh
was my thinking.
Shiloh hit that nail on the head. He said, momentous day for the nation. Hell yeah.
Good job, everyone.
Oh, see what happens when you give people administrator privileges?
Secret stuff goes on.
Termite performing dojo in a dojo.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. What a wonderful surprise.
Yeah, that's great story.
You
didn't see this on the site? You were on the site today?
No, I've been working on the site kind of all day.
Jack's like,
pays attention to details. F.
Well, really, Jack probably did. As long as I don't update the new page, he won't see it.
Yeah, I did wait a while to put it in the menu so that it was kind of behind the scenes.
The other thing is Jack recorded the whole thing. Look, Carlos is on the site right now.
He hit it. That's awesome. Good job, Jack.
Thanks, guys. That's for the nation.
You've officially made the show.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know how
we were stumbling about up until episode 146.
I don't know about that, but I did have a couple of revelations from the GZA Expo. So
now I gotta up my my artist.
It's okay. You can come back in the inspiration.
No, I gotta get.
Chris said, I hope it doesn't get hacked by North Koreans. Carlos doesn't seem to have tight oversight.
Oh, yeah, that was a dig at you.
Carlos is easy.
Taking swings. People taking swings.
Yeah, Chris is up. He's wide awake. He's like, let's go.
I know. Chris, aren't you supposed to be taking a nap right now?
Chris slowly will fade into the.
So what I thought was the big news this week was AT&T bought Time Warner for $85 billion with a B dollars.
It doesn't seem like enough, right?
Nice scratch right there.
Yeah, right.
Shouldn't it be like 150 billion or something?
So is this the deal for like the? No, this. Oh, sorry. I was thinking 20th Century Fox. Never mind. I was gonna say this is just.
Yeah, that one's coming up.
That's coming.
I'm confused by all these mergers. So what did they get with the Time Warner? What does that give them access to?
More cable.
Pretty much like the entirety of the nation in cable.
So they can go against Comcast now. Comcast hates that right now.
Yeah.
Because remember, Comcast had the edge on them for the whole time just because of like how long they've been in the game. And AT&T, but now all that Time Warner cable, we don't get Time Warner in this state, dude. So they all turn into AT&T states. Somebody needs to make a map like they do on the mobile commercials, right?
Okay, so it says I'm looking on TheVerge.com. It says $85 billion deal puts the massive media properties owned by Time Warner, which include HBO, Warner Brothers, and CNN, under the ownership of one of America's largest internet, TV, and phone service providers. It creates a whole mess of potential conflicts of interest when it comes to content favoritism. Ooh, this is where where net neutrality gets interesting.
Yo, they own CNN. It's crazy.
They do now.
Does that mean they get HBO, Metro TV?
Yo. So if you don't get, will they take HBO off of Comcast? So you can't get HBO unless you.
Or if you have Comcast, they throttle it way down.
Right.
I would think they would just take it off of that service, and that'd be a premium service for direct.
Maybe, yeah.
But what was it? Wasn't it last year that Comcast bought DreamWorks?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so I work for Comcast. I'm not getting free internet.
Oh, by the way, hey, what's going on, Tommy, man? Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
That's my boy.
In the chat. He was like, where's here?
So this is going to be interesting because if you guys notice, literally everyone is getting into content creation.
Yep.
Netflix, obviously. Netflix is pouring all kinds of money into a new animation studio. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
Apple just announced a new animation studio.
They did?
Did they?
Yeah, today, literally an hour ago. I don't think they've announced it, but there's an article saying Apple is doing an animation studio.
Well, I know from a little bit from a grapevine, because I've had a couple buddies go out and interview with Apple, because Apple's doing a push for all their content creation to be in-house. So a lot of times at the Apple keynotes and stuff like that, they would show a partner or whatever, So now, especially with all the AR stuff and stuff like that, they've been looking for, ex game development people and motion graphic artists and stuff like that, so that when they show those demos off, they're not like bringing in such and such from this place. It's more so like, here's Tom from our content team, showing you off an amazing visual that's on the level of, Epic or ILM.
Well, so it helps confidentiality too. You don't have to share that.
Right.
With third companies or contractors.
And just from like hearing, I know I've heard of people that are leading that team, and they're like a who's who of like people coming from like, like EA and Blizzard and there's some digital domain people in there, and like just like they're grabbing from all different. They're doing like the Magic Leap and like the ILM X type of like digital domain, like where they grab from a bunch of different industries to do this AR or VR thing. At least for that, it'd be interesting now, like you're saying, because I didn't hear about the animation studio. Now they're doing that same thing for animation. Is it TV and feature or?
Well, Apple started getting into content creation just to have content for Apple TV and iTunes, right?
Like what Netflix is doing?
Because what Apple was trying to do is make a deal with Comcast and different cable providers to have the Apple TV be your set-top box instead of that goofy box that you get that they make you rent every month. Apple wanted that to be the Apple TV, but they couldn't make the deals to have live streaming or live TV come to the to Apple TV. So what they did was they changed, I guess, the business plan for Apple TV, and they started getting into creating content, and that's where the deal for Carpool Karaoke came on. That's where they started making what is it, the Revenge of the Apps or Planet of the Apps. So they started making live action stuff. And then they continue to try to make those deals with the cable companies, and they can't quite get there because cable companies are like, we're going to make our own content. We're going to host our own stuff. We don't need to go to you.
That's the whole Xfinity and the whole like dashboard they have and all that other stuff.
That's why Comcast went and got DreamWorks. That's why AT&T went and got Time Warner, and that's why Disney is pulling all their content off of Netflix, because everyone is going to have their own content.
Didn't they just say Netflix is now worth more than Disney? Like it surpassed it in its revenue or something like that. So like I think if we've seen that revenue stream going, hey, we're the next Netflix, or at the very least we're our own Netflix.
But that's where Netflix, the numbers behind Netflix is really tricky, because
it's
a lot of Netflix content is stuff that they licensed that they don't necessarily own. That's why you see a lot of stuff coming into Netflix, a lot of stuff leaving Netflix almost every month. Oh
no, definitely. There's a website I follow that says, here's what's leaving Netflix this month, and here's what's coming out.
Nice. Well, by the same token, I do like the model they have of the content. So all the Netflix built content that they've had, I think it's been pretty good, and then they've licensed stuff to the up and comings. There's been some really good shows, right? Like some really good like unsung shows where like I happen to come on them, and like one of them comes to mind is like if you haven't seen the Magician, if you haven't watched that series, it's about two seasons, right? Okay. All right, Charlie, think of a good one way to explain this. Okay, cool. Grown up Harry Potter. But with magicians. Like legit grown up, not like, they're
like Harry Potter's not for adults, and Harry Potter is perfectly fine.
No. I'm saying a junior version. You know what I mean, though, Corey.
Don't be an ageist, Charlie.
What'd you say?
Don't be an ageist.
Hey, yo. Harry Potter's fine. don't strap up for Harry Potter right now. Listen. It's a grittier version, like literally, like I say, grown up fantasy version of Harry Potter.
Like Harry Potter After Dark is what you're saying,
right? Even more so, like Dungeons and Dragons Harry Potter. Like, I mean, they had like nymphs and like crazy other like things that are like in it. Like it's like hardcore nerd, like like I don't know. Watch it. It's good. It's good. So it's about becoming a magician. Guy always wants to be a magician. Finds out magicians are real, and there's a school, right? And
again, your point, magicians are not real, Charlie. This is disappointment.
Do not break Charlie's heart on this show.
You know what? It's good. I mean, I will
turn this thing around.
Yo, they have like if any of you guys are really nerdy into like that kind of stuff, even more so, like they even have like hedge witches in there, and like
Charlie, I don't know if anyone can beat you right now.
Hey, hedge witches like people who practice magic outside of the regular confines. They do like the ghetto style. It's great. Watch it. Like, yo, I was so like happy when I found this because it was like and the production level, right? The production level of this is like. Have you guys seen the Will Smith movie? That's another Netflix.
My Little Pony.
Bright. Yeah. No, Bright. Have you seen Bright? Did you watch Bright?
Oh no, not yet.
Yeah, is that the one where he's he's a cop
with the monster, with the orc or whatever it is?
Yeah. I have seen it.
It's the same type of notion because there's like, I'm not gonna ruin the magician.
Not the remake of like Alienation from back in the day. Wasn't that the?
No, yeah, kind of, but like the level of like effects in that. So like magic had weight in that one, like nuclear type. Like wand was like nuclear, That's how they did Bright. So that was the cool thing about Bright. Like, it was one of those things like what is it? Not New Jack City, Carlos. It was like, they're on the wrong side of town, have to make it out of that side of town.
Warriors,
right? But imagine you had a wand that's like, nuclear level, right? So like, they went over the top, Jack, with the effects on this, like where you're like, oh, cool, they're gonna do a blast, but the blast was literally like Transformers epic. I was like, okay, wasn't expecting that. So it made me want to watch. It made me want to watch more of that. So I hope they do that. So I think the things that I've seen that Netflix have done, whereas you could tell it's in-house and they kind of push it like a movie. I started seeing billboards for that movie for Bright before they came out, maybe because they had Will Smith and stuff like that. It felt like a movie.
They were really pushing it because Will Smith is not cheap.
Right.
Well, yeah. Did you like that movie?
It was excellent. I liked it. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that didn't, and I don't understand why.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I watched it a couple times, and I'm trying to be like objective. Is it really cheesy or whatever? Like we mentioned things like The Warriors, we mentioned things like other movies and stuff like that. Like New Jack and stuff like that. But
you want to see what makes me smile and stuff like this? We have the Sketch Zone fun prompt already posted.
Nice.
I can.
People are quick with it. Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Can I say one thing going back to Apple? I do not and never have I owned an Apple product.
I just skipped that monster.
You don't have any kind of Apple product?
Nope. Sheer Dylan.
What are those headphones you wearing right now?
I don't know. These are my wife's because my headphones blew out. I had my computer fail and they fried my headphones.
So you're basically blaming your wife.
Okay.
No, it was her fault. I'm borrowing, I think, they're her Hello Kitty earplugs.
Oh, they're Hello Kitty. They're not even Apple. Okay, never mind.
It was either Apple or Hello Kitty.
I thought they were like the white Apple. That's crazy. You've dodged that bullet.
Yeah, I purposely just avoided it just because I've never liked a lot of their products, or not the products, but the practices. And
so you've been a long time Android user then?
Except for AT&T. Once they bought AT&T or vice versa, I couldn't really avoid it.
Get away from it, yeah. Oh, cool. No, I think it's good. I just hope they follow that same model. The other one I just got into, I don't know much about. Maybe you guys do it. Is the whole Amazon and Hulu side, Is that two different? Is that two different ones, or is Amazon and Hulu in bed together?
No, so Hulu is part of the Comcast world.
Okay.
And Amazon's obviously its own beast.
So, and they're doing the whole Fire Stick thing, right? So, like, we have one downstairs, and I started watching a couple programs on that. It was kind of cool, and they have a good selection of like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they've got all the Prime movies, and because they've also got the like instant rental stuff.
Yeah, they had like Black Panther up, like
So
I was like, whoa, that's pretty good. And like the like extended one where like Kugler's like narrating the movie and stuff like that and telling you, it's like that's like interesting. But I just don't know how good the Amazon one is outside of me having it. Like, I feel like I don't see the same type of rollout as Netflix. I feel like every time I open up Netflix, something's new up there, and I wonder if everybody has the same energy to keep up that kind of pace. You know?
Well, the thing is, Amazon doesn't really have to focus on it as much. Netflix does Netflix. That's all they do. So they better have content, fresh content all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where Amazon, what people don't understand is Amazon, sure, it's a really neat place to shop, but everyone uses Amazon web servers for anything web-based. And anything, everyone and anything is a very strong language, but the majority of the people that are out there, a lot of them use Amazon web servers to deliver all their stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix doesn't do that.
I bet you they do. I mean, to that point, Amazon went heavy into game too. A couple years ago, they bought the CryEngine and then turned it into Lumberyard, which is Amazon's free like engine. So they went the Epic route, right? And then they built out a studio and built out a couple different studios in a couple different cities to push that content, so that like the best content that's coming out on that engine is showing up from Amazon. And from the same point, Corey, you've heard of the CryEngine too. Like they basically gutted it. They bought it from Crytek because they were dying, right? And kept Crytek afloat.
As game companies do.
Yeah, it kept them afloat. But now since they bought it, they turned into their own thing called Lumberyard. And then their programmers basically, because it's pretty much the same, but they ripped out the guts of it, right? And they infused it with the Amazon web server. And then they took the Epic model of like an Unreal model of like made it free to indie developers and stuff like that. And then obviously you can get a kick through the Amazon web server. And they have it so that like it integrates into like Twitch really well. And like they do the whole like if you have a new game and you're trying to push it amongst the live streaming and stuff like that, it's supposed to, if you use that engine, it's supposed to work really well with like integrating like Twitch personalities or YouTube personalities with your game because of the web platform it can do, because now you can instantly put it online really easily, you know, whatever type of game you're making, because it's infused with Amazon web servers, which, you know, are ridiculous. You know, games like Star Citizens and all these other ones that are doing these big, huge, they need all these server space. It's gonna be interesting what they did with that. I forgot about that, Carlos. That's a good point. They have all that other stuff. They run the internet.
That's a true story.
Doesn't Google use Amazon servers too, or like?
I don't know. I think honestly, with Google, they might. I haven't really had.
Like, who are their competitors?
But Google, who's competitor?
Who's Amazon's competitor in that web server route? Then, no one. Are they the top?
No, I'm sure they have. Probably there's a lot of the smaller places like that we host through.
Yeah.
That might be the closest thing. But like if you're talking about serving up media, there's Akamai.
Right.
Akamai does it.
I mean, both Microsoft and Google have their own web services. Yeah.
I just hear, maybe it's just the way they've been putting it out there. The last couple of years, I've just heard how many big companies use Amazon web servers, and like
all of the tech companies in Silicon Valley that I've worked with, all of them have Amazon web server. But the difference is, so let's compare to like a Akamai. Akamai has what they do for folks that don't know what the hell we're talking about. Akamai is a service. Say you have a bunch of videos and a bunch of images and stuff like that, and your website is global. You don't want all of your content on one computer because, believe it or not, distance from that one computer does make a difference. So if I'm hosting something here in Sonoma and someone in China is trying to access it, it's going to take them longer to get to the computer here in Sonoma than it would someone in San Francisco. Not only that, if thousands of people hit that one computer, then chances are it's going to be super slow. It's a guarantee it's going to be super slow, but then it might actually crash. So what Akamai does is it takes all of these video files and images and spreads it through computers throughout the entire planet. So then that way, if someone in China is trying to access a video that I have available, then the Akamai service then finds out where they are and it sends them to the closest computer to that person, right? The difference between Akamai and Amazon Web Servers is you can build legit software and databases and everything and host media on Amazon. And they have so many computers all over the planet that they can make it super affordable. And it's a super smart business move that they made because, one, you want Amazon to be all over the place because you want people's shopping experience to be super fast.
Right.
So if you have computers all over the place, you might as well rent space to people that want their media all over the place.
Makes sense.
And then what you do is you know that people are going to build software with it, so then you give them the ability to build software. So now you have all of these, you have Amazon Web Servers that are located all around the planet. You can build software that then gets dispersed all around the planet. And generally speaking, Amazon's prices are a little bit cheaper and everything is a little more reliable.
Got you.
But someone like an Apple, for example, Apple, like everyone who has an Apple product, then you buy into that iCloud thing that they have.
Right.
They actually lease space from Amazon or Google or anyone like that. They're basically constantly shopping around for the best price. So then that way they can make it, number one, make it a little more attractive to the end user, which would be us. And then number two, even if they don't adjust our prices to go down, if they get it cheaper, they make more money. So
makes sense.
You go. That's your 45 seconds of geekdom. Moving on.
Yeah. That Bright is more like Training Day in Harry Potter, which is a better description.
Yeah.
So thanks, B, for that one.
Training Day meets Harry Potter. Totally.
Right. And then Corey, go watch The Magician's Jack 2. You'll like it too, because now I have a better description. You know what's the Lion, Witch, in the Wardrobe? You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Add that with Harry Potter, because there's a whole subplot of these. It's good. Let's go watch it. Please go watch it. It's really good. I want to know who did it because it's really good. Because go ahead.
I like magicians in general, so I mean, I would watch a show called The Magicians. You don't really have to sell it to me past that, really.
Yeah, it's cool though. I like
magic tricks.
Magic is real.
It was like, now I actually searched through Netflix because of that show, because I was like, it was random, right? How you're looking through. I'm going to see who's new, and then I saw that and I randomly watched the trailer, and you know how like they get you on Netflix too, how they like you can watch the trailer and then it just goes straight into the first show. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm watching the show.
2 hours later, you're like, this is the longest trailer I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what happened. Like, because you're like, I'll watch one more episode, whatever. It's only one season, and I realize it's two, and that's how I got my beard. All right, moving on.
So since Charlie has been bossing Corey around, we might as well ask him.
Wait, what?
That's my transition. It was nice and subtle.
Yeah, it's weird.
What's going on, Corey?
Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch, I guess.
Yeah.
Just got back from Hawaii, so that was nice.
You just got back from Hawaii. Nice.
Really? Oh, wow, you've been busy.
Yeah, we went with my wife's family, her like entire family. There's like 17 of us total.
Did you get to see a volcano up close?
No, we went to Maui. We went to the other
Safe
island.
That's the other thing. How bad is that right now? Like, people keep telling me go look up pictures, and they say it's getting worse.
It might be getting worse, but it's not nearly as bad. From what I've seen, it's not nearly as bad as we think. Like when I heard the volcano was erupting, I was like, oh, that's it. Hawaii's done for now.
Hawaii.
But it's kind of like this little corner on the like in that one island. It's eating cars, sure, but it's only cars that are parked right there.
If you're a car owner, it sucks. But everybody else, it's fine.
Homeowners are like out there remotely that had a perfect view, getaway way out in the countryside.
Now it's funny as thousands of years from now, someone's going to be digging and they're going to find a Buick just. What the hell? These people just left. Oh my God.
It was cool. But when we were there, we did, if you go to Maui, or they have the road to, what is it? Road to Hana, which is like the big like loop around the main mountain area. And you can stop. There's several places, I guess, but we stopped at one. It's a lava tube or lava cave. So it's where like lava had previously flowed and the outside hardened before the inside did. So the inside continued to flow, and eventually kind of like went away or dissolved or whatever. But the hard outer shell remained and basically created a cave. So you can pull off and go exploring through these old lava tubes. I mean, it's like really hard volcanic ash. Likewise, we went to, on the road to Hana, there's a black sand beach, one of only, I think, a couple in the world that is literally made of, not dissolved, but broken up pieces of volcanic ash. And eventually it'll go away. Like time will get rid of all those pieces. So it's a finite beach of sorts.
Did you take some of the beach?
I didn't. My brother-in-law did. I didn't think to bring like a jar or something, but that was really cool. Like it felt really cool in like your hands and on your feet. So
now it's the whole family, so kids and everything.
Yeah, my kids, their cousins, and
the whole clan.
Corey has an interesting. Corey, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids. You want to know how old they are, Charlie?
Yes, I do. Well, how old are
5.
they?
They're 5.
They're 5.
Yes.
All of them are 5.
That right, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is he a talented animator, but he makes triplets.
Yep.
And he survived triplets. Maybe, hopefully, it's getting easier now. Probably not, but like, hopefully, it's getting easier than it was.
Could you imagine if they came out with 3 more back to back to back like that?
Back to back.
That's what we're scared of, because like we still like we're like finances and sanity aside, we're like, we like kids. I'd have more kids, but man, if it turns out to be 4, 5, 6, you're kind of.
I don't know, Corey.
How fast would your wife leave you if you did that?
I don't know, Corey. Sometimes some people, they just work together and they just create things. Like I create girls. I don't think I'm going to create a guy.
Oh, yeah, they're all girls.
They're all triplets. Yeah. You have girls too. Like, I don't know. What if you get triplets again? Like you guys' chemistry just makes twins.
I tell you what, though, like I mean, it would have been nice to have a boy, just to have,
For sure, yeah.
But that being said, I think I was meant to have girls, because once I thought about it, I joked that it's my punishment because I just chased girls my whole life.
Make it 2 identical.
Yeah. No, 2 are identical. One's fraternal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I didn't know that could happen.
Identical.
Yeah, so it's basically 2 eggs got fertilized and one of them split.
Mm.
So
Damn.
So I didn't know that. I thought all of them were identical. That's okay. That's interesting. Cool. I learned
To be honest, I don't know which one is more rare. I think probably 3 identicals would be more rare, but who knows? But looking back in my life, because I grew up doing dance, like ballet type dance and theater, and I have a twin sister.
See,
and
that's cool.
I've basically been surrounded by girls and comfortable. Like most of my friends, like all my best friends in my life, have always been girls, and they're like, oh, I talk to girls better than I talk to boys anyway, so this will be fine. So
wow.
What does your twin sister do?
She's a doctor.
Whoa.
A chiropractic, doctor of chiropractic. But
What,
but I say that, and I don't mean to put an asterisk next to it, but she's kind of a whole body wellness. Like we go see her for anything. She's very smart, and she's better looking. So I always say she got the looks and the brain. So I don't know what I got. I'm the
creativity.
You got triplets. That's what you got.
You got creativity. You got the numbers. So now you produce twins and triplets.
Is she creative like you at all?
She is. She actually was a very good artist in high school. She's got a very nice style and a very good sense of like style and her own kind of touch on things. If she worked on it, she probably would have been a better artist than I would have been. But she didn't. She obviously went a different direction. Ironically, I was not that she was always into like science and like stuff like that too in high school, but so was I. I started off as a science guy. I almost went to a science and math high school, like skipping normal high school. Mm-hmm. But then literally like the summer beforehand, I discovered theater. I'm like, oh, this is way easier and a lot more fun.
Hey, Mom, go ahead and put me in a regular high school. They got a theater department there. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of started my path down that way, which is completely opposite, like Robert Frost. But she was artistic, but it's funny now. But she'll ask me for art favors, and I say, okay, can you come adjust my back? We kind of trade.
I thought you were say, can you come and watch my kids?
My sister used to work at a chiropractor office, and we used to go there. So we'd tell my mom, yeah, we're going to the crack house. And
that's good. I like that.
Nice.
But that's
so. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just going back to her style, like I said, she was probably a better artist because she always had a simpler style. I think my brain is too not OCD, but well, it is OCD, but also too scatterbrained, where I'm always like, this. I always try to incorporate. So for me, simplifying is always a thing I have to be aware of, where I think she was always good at just doing. Her style was always simplistic. I think as an artist, that was would have been very helpful, very good.
That's interesting.
So how early on was it that you realized that you wanted to get into theater?
Gosh, I remember probably unknowingly, like subconsciously, ever since I was a kid. Like I grew up on watching Laugh-In and like stuff that was being rerun at Nick at Night. So I was like Laugh-In, I Love Lucy, all these shows that were before my time. I'd watch them, and I'd watch them again and again. Like I'd have the jokes memorized, and I'd have the punchlines, the timing. That's where I got all of my comedic timing from. Dick Van Dyke, all that stuff. So but I grew up in a small town, and great theater, great music department. But it wasn't like he had people going off to LA or becoming stars. Not that was necessarily my aspiration, anyways. But I was like, oh, okay, I can just be funny. That's cool. But I remember the summer before my freshman year in high school, there was, my mom said, you should go do theater. You should try this. And I auditioned. First play I did was Guys and Dolls. And I was like, oh, this was cool. And I don't think I maybe had a line. I was a dancer because I started dancing when I was like 6 or 7 or something like that, and danced all the way my way through basically college. So I was always cast as guy dancer. You're in small towns, there's not a lot of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I discovered that was cool. Went to high school, kind of did theater, and just really enjoyed it. And had a really great theater department, great music department, like I said. So it was like well developed, and like I learned a lot of like legitimate stuff. And kind of went on and kind of got out of it for in college a little bit, but recently rediscovered it, you know, in the last 10 years. And, you know, I'm recently back in Chicago, previously in Reno, and really fell in love with it again there, fell in with a great theater crowd there. And it's like, oh yeah. And a lot of people, because there's a lot of ex-California people there, like Nevada is becoming the new California. So you had people who had worked on shows and done stuff like that over there and had chops. So I was like, oh, that was great. And that's kind of how I ended up in animation. So like animation's a lot like acting, but I don't have to do all the same thing.
But that's what I was going to ask you. Is there similarities between the two?
Oh, absolutely. Like, more so than I ever thought. I remember the minute I decided I wanted to become an animator it was my freshman year in college, and I was down at Bradley University in Peoria, my first college. And then I was a communications major, good old general communications major. I said, well, I want to do something digital. And they said, well, we're starting a new multimedia program. And this is like 2000, or no, it was 1998, 1999, something like that. And you can be one of our first students in a multimedia program. And I'm like, okay. So that was like DVD authoring and like some website stuff. I'm like, this isn't quite it. And it was literally like my final project, whatever the heck that was. And some other senior, it was computer lab, and some senior was in there, and he was in this multimedia. He was kind of part of this spearheading this multimedia program. And he was up there showing off his reel or whatever it was, his DVD authoring in the lab, and it was so simple. It was literally a man and a woman like in a T-pose, a classic T-pose, back to back, and like rotating. It was for some like, I don't know, like body, like medical type thing. And just the fact I saw that 3D, even though like this time Toy Story had come out around this time, I'd seen 3D before, but I saw these things rotating, and I realized it was possible for me to do that. I'm like, oh, you can do that? Like people can do that? Oh, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do right there. Yeah. And then I transferred to AI, where they had, you know, a program, and I kind of just took off from there. But the similarities, going back to your question about the similarities, was, I mean, everything I did in acting and dance, I brought to animation, still bring to animation. It's funny now, I reflect thinking about career-wise, I'm like, one of the main deterrents of becoming an actor, at least for me, and my experience is like, you have to audition, you get rejected a lot. Not that failure is bad, I'm not afraid to fail, but it's like, for what? I mean, it's the cliche. You got to work as a waiter, and it's a lot. I have friends who went to England, like one of the few people they got chosen out of some New York school to go to England and study under some famous actor that I don't remember who it is now. And he asked this famous actor, he's like, what's the secret to acting? He's like, be in the right place at the right time. That's it. That's it. No matter how good you are, you got to be in the right place at the right time. And that, I feel, Jack, maybe you have similar experience or similar thoughts, but I feel like more so than I ever thought, animation, you have to be in the right place at the right time. That was something I hoped I could avoid, but I feel like that's a big thing recently because of, maybe not originally because it is still a small industry, but man, there's a lot more competition popping up, and a lot of young people who are 19 and have a lot more free time than I do. And so it's tough. It's that same competition as acting. And the only better thing about acting is you can do a monologue in 30 seconds. It takes you a lot longer time to do a demo reel in animation.
A 30-second demo reel.
Yeah.
I can memorize a monologue in a weekend and go to 100 auditions, but
we talk about that all the time on the show, where you have to be ready because you don't know where your next opportunity is coming from.
Yeah. And I've had some opportunities that have been hard decisions that I've passed on. You read horror stories, and not that they're not true, but there's also success stories. And like I said, I was like a lot of things, a lot of my interests. When I was young, like I should have been born 10 years ago because I like all this laughing and I love Lucy stuff. I should have been born in the heyday of television.
Right.
And now I wish I would have been born 10 years later. So I was in the heyday of animation with these kids that are coming up now. You know, kind of in that micro generation in between two great eras. And I wasn't personally in a position or a mind frame to jump on it, like, you know, the internet bubble. I was not a part of the internet bubble that capitalized and became a millionaire. Spoiler.
Use it, spoiler.
Spoiler, I'm not a millionaire.
So what was that conversation like when you went to your parents and you're like, okay, I understand my sister's going to go be a doctor. I want to go move things.
They were cool. They were super cool. I think they knew. I mean, to be honest, I went to my first college because I was chasing a girl. Again, I chased girls my whole life.
It happens.
It worked out pretty well for a while. But then I think they were totally fine with it. They didn't quite understand it, but I went to AI, you know, met our friend Richard at the time, and he was basically I was like, I'm looking for something, and like basically he was the first person I met who knew what I was talking about. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in. So they're like, great. I mean, we're like small-time people, so we didn't know any better. So, I mean, thankfully he was a great guy and an honest person, but they could have, you know, he could have been a complete liar. We would have known him better. And I was a small town guy, so I kind of wanted to stay close to home. I wasn't mature enough to be out on my own just yet. But that's the joke of the family. My sister will come home and talk about, oh, and it's great. I mean, I'm fascinated by it because she knows a lot about the body and bones, and as an animator, you know a lot about the body and bones. So she'll talk about something, and I go, I make cartoons for a living. And I walk out the room. It's a nice get out of jail conversation, jail-free card. So, but at the same time, they're cool. They're super cool with it. I still don't think anybody knows what they do because you know, they always ask, "Can you make a website for me?" That's not what I do.
Nah, not really. Can't do that.
Animator seems to be like the lump term for like pretty much anything in like movies and TV and art and like.
I think that. I mean, I hate to say I don't want to overstay, but I think that personally. I don't know what you feel, Jack, but it irks me a bit when people say, well, like people I know their skill set, and I'll hear them say, "Oh yeah, I'm an animator." I'm like, "You're not an animator. Don't."
How dare you, sir?
Corey lifted out the word. You're not an animator. Nope.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the whole imposter syndrome type thing. I totally live in that imposter syndrome. So like, I have trouble saying I'm an animator because I'm like I'm an animator. Which is true, but there are people who animate better and at a more prestigious level than I do. But so when someone else uses it and I know they don't animate, I'm like,
yeah. That tone was like, yeah, you're not. And now I'm judging you.
I'm owning it. I'm taking it back.
No, you should hold it up. Hold it in like high regard, you know, in terms of like, it's the hardest thing to me you could pick to do as an art student, you know, to say you want to become an animator. And I'm like, even when teaching back when we're teaching for a stint, I'm like, okay, pump your brakes on the whole animator thing because you don't animate.
Yeah,
moving a ball from left to right does not make you an animator.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when I worked at Microsoft with some great people, and I'm getting to know the crew. I was in contract. You just know some other artists, and they were very good. And kind of wondered, like, hey, so you know, what is it you do? What's your demo reel? This guy's like, you know, he was mainly a modeler on the project and a texture guy, and super great. He's like, yeah, I animate a little bit, and so he put this on his resume, you know, modeler, texture, animator. He showed me his demo reel. I think there's like 2 seconds of some character going like. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like I didn't comment. I'm like, that's fine. If you wanna. So, he's like, so let me show me your reel. So I showed him my reel. And he's like, oh, you're like an animator. I'm like, yeah. like maybe.
Yo, Corey.
An animator.
As soon as he said it, Corey didn't let him finish his stuff. Yeah, that.
Yeah, I used the word correctly.
There's so much venom in that. Yeah, right. As long as you said it.
It's a battle. It's a, I mean, like I said, it's a tight market out there. So if someone, people in the hiring positions may not know the difference. You're like, okay, great, you can move stuff, cool. And
They usually don't know it.
They hired that guy over me. I'm like, come on. So
you're just like his models. You can't animate them.
I don't think that's models. I'm not a modeler, so I mean, all power to them. But let's be separate, be equal, okay?
Yeah, sometimes people throw that in that whole when they call themselves a generalist or whatever, and it even irks me when I'm at work. I'm like, no, you don't really do that too much, but you should probably go into and pay for an animator. It's just some keyframes and we just flap them out. No, it's not. I don't want to do that. And
So
trying
Chris,
to educate people. Yeah.
Chris said, difference between knowing how to animate and being an animator. I know how to animate. Corey and Jack are animators. True blue. It's a level of dedication and focus.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
That's the thing, because I say the same thing about modeling. Like, I'm not a modeler, but I know how to model.
Right.
I can do it to a level of competence, but I would never call myself a modeler.
Right.
I always bite my tongue when talking to motion graphic artists about their level of 3D and how much they know how to model or how to texture or how to light. Because so much of the industry, not all of it, but so much of it is like buying pre-built stuff or whatever like that and texturing that or putting a shader on it and not knowing actually how to texture a model or unwrap a model and stuff like that. And it's a constant like back and forth with some of my other buddies. I'm like, yeah, but they're acting way too pretentious to really know how to do 3D. I'd probably wipe the floor with them, but I don't want everyone to sound like I'm pretentious or anything like that. But I hate it because it's so much of that industry. I could be shooting myself in the foot, but whatever. There's so much of that industry is like comes from the agency world, and with motion graphics, where like even people in the industry is kind of blurred on like what it means to be a 3D generalist, or what it means to be an actual 3D artist that knows how to texture, light, model, and make a scene. But obviously, you're going to need to buy pre-canned models because production time and like deadlines and all that good. I understand it, but if it's weird, somehow I think they should. I don't know how, because I've seen the motion graphics like courses and stuff, even from actual famous people in the industry, as well as at the collegiate level, of like just go get a TurboSquid model, just go get a DAZ model, and for something those are great, but like I think there's a little bit of the 3D artist stuff being missed in translation. I don't know. It's weird. It's the same thing for me, where I see a really cool intro to a TV show or like a title sequence or something like that, and then I watch the breakdown and I realize that that model's from TurboSquid, this is it, but they made it look really cool with a shader and Octane or whatever, and I'm like, didn't even make it though. But if you hear them talk about it, you can swear they're like on some cutting edge innovative stuff. It's the same type of notion, like having respect for the craft of taking time, like Chris said, and like studying one section of it, which I think it gets lost nowadays since everything's so readily available.
Here's my thing with like where I'm at. Going back to a little bit about my story in like triplets was, so like I had some offers, like I had an offer from like Rhythm and Hughes a long time ago, but at the same time I had the position that I actually still have now. It was like one of those like 9-month contract, and you'll probably get fired afterwards or laid off, which did happen to most of the crew. You have that lifestyle, that typical lifestyle of like, okay, now you gotta move to Vancouver, and then you have to go down to Houston, you have to do all that traveling. And I was 32 at the time and married, and like, not just my wife, but I was like, everybody's having babies. I'm like, I want a kid. I've always wanted a family, Midwest boy, wanted to have a family, love kids. And I had 3 nieces at the time. My sister had just had her first baby. So I'm like, So I would tell my wife, like, it's 9 months. It'd be a career maker. It would have been, for sure. But it's like, I got this stable job offer. I can work 9 to 5. Great pay, great benefits. Settle down. We'll have a kid. Had 3 kids. And I said, well, we'll never do it. No, it's not difficult. But it's one of those things where that was a choice I made. And I think after that point, or maybe right before that point, maybe that's what helped inform the decision, was I was reading some people from like Pixar and companies that projects had gotten canceled, as they do. And they're like, or they're getting laid off. And they're like, my wife and I put off having a baby for 3 years because there's always a production, or we've put this off. And it's like, if I was younger, that's fine. Not knocking anybody for doing that. But it's like, I was at the point where I personally wanted babies. And I'm like, when I'm old and gray, I don't want to say I should have had those kids. And because my wife and we had already been through a bunch of that, because when I left Chicago, we went to a job in Utah where I worked with Mike Belzer. Jack, I'm sure you know that name.
Yeah.
Great guy. My gosh. He was like one of my idols. Ironically, when I graduated Animation Mentor, he did my demo reel review. And then 2 years later, he hired me. I don't think he remembered my review at all. But I'm like, he likes my stuff. Like, he obviously liked what I did. He kept liking it, which is super cool. So Mike Belzer and Dave Gallagher from Blue Sky and Anim School, I worked alongside. But that was at a studio that was 2008, 2009, when the stock market crashed and all the funding got pulled and everything. So then I went to Microsoft, and that was on contract, and we've been moving around, trying to settle down. That's when this Richmond Hughes offer came. It's like, boy, we've been wanting to have the family, start the family. So we can do that, or we can go do this thing over here, which may put us on hold for like 5 years. Right. So it's a choice, and I think I don't regret that or begrudge, those choices. But it's like, I wish we didn't have to make those choices as artists and animators. So I don't know where I feel like there's a lot of people vocalizing that now in the industry as far as like trying to fight, kick that habit, which is great. Hopefully things change.
Hopefully, yeah, for sure. I think a lot of artists have to make that choice. It's a hard choice to have to make.
Like I said, it's cool though, because like I went to Reno, like I said, had a great, or still do. I mean, I still work for them now in Chicago. But like I got back into theater. I directed shows. I did improv. When I had kids, one of the things I always wanted to do was make puppets. So I make puppets now. Like, it's just a thing I do. So it's one of the things that the quality of life has been fantastic. But so what I was going to say, I think I totally got off of my point. Point being, with the job is, after having triplets, I was like, oh, I'm not afraid of anything anymore. So
I bet.
Like before, like if you talk to my mom, who's my biggest fan, and I'm always energetic and this and that. Oh, I always have so much passion. Now I'm like, I get excited. I used to get excited about everything. I still do, but I just don't have the energy for it anymore. And or someone's like, hey, we got this project, and oh my gosh, we have to do this, and we have to build so many things, and I make, great, we'll do it. That's fine, because I have 3 girls at home, and I have to give them baths and put them to bed and stop them from fighting, and that is harder to do.
I definitely kept giving validity to because I think me and your daughters are the same age as my oldest.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Every time I was like, yeah, this is kind of crazy. And I was like, wait a minute, no, it's not. Corey has 3 Avas at once. Yeah. And I did that a lot when she was a baby. I think even told my wife, I think she got tired of it. She's like, I know we don't have triplets, but no, you have 3 of them. She has 2 other them at the same time. It's like crazy.
Now, don't get me wrong, people with like 1 kid and 2 kids and all that, the normal stuff, we call them the normies. No.
I like how you said the normies with 2, because some people are like
normies.
Crazy with 2. Corey's like, nah, not quite there yet.
I know they have unique issues and unique problems that we don't have, and everybody has their own. My mom always say, you put all your problems, you take everybody you know, Everybody takes their problems and put them in a paper bag. Pass everybody's paper bag around. By the end, you'll want yours back because you'll enjoy your problems more than other people's problems. So I'm not begrudging anybody for their issues, but at the same time, you got one kid. Do not come complain to me, please.
One kid, no, sir. I felt it was so much easier.
It's like someone walks up to Corey and says, "I'm a parent," and he's like, "You're not a parent.
You're not a parent.
Let me show you what I do. I'm a parent.
You're a parent.
If my wife takes one of the girls away and I just have 2 kids, it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, I just have 2 kids. That's awesome. But you got to remember, it's 3 first children. We've never had kids. People say, "What's it like to have triplets?" I said, "I don't know. What's it like to have 1 kid? Tell me. I don't know." So it's 3 first children, so we don't get a test run. It's basically think of it like research. So,
hang on. Before you keep singing this sob story, nobody told you to be like super. Look at me. I have to do everything to the nth degree. You could have had just 1 kid.
No, it's funny because everybody who knows me is like, of course. Everybody who knows me says, "Of course, Corey had triplets." If anybody, of course he does.
I think I did hear that.
He's an overachiever is what it is. You could have just been an animator, but no, you wanted to be an animator.
So I think that was happening. I don't sleep much as it was, and I don't eat much as it is. So, ta-da! I'm a perfect candidate to have triplets.
I think I laughed to myself one time because I think when working at Corey before, we had another guy named Darren that used to be amazed at Corey's dancing ability. And someone told me one time that I could just think of like Corey dancing for all 3 of his girls in your tap dancing shoes.
I remember that. Remember that my last day of work, I wore a sequins vest to make Darren happy.
Yeah. He was like, "You probably have a sequins vest in your closet." And Corey said, turned around from animating and said, "Actually, I do.
I do.
And I'll wear it for you."
I told him I'm wearing my last day of work, and I did.
I'll never forget that because Darren's face is like, "It is real."
Yeah, he was so happy that day.
That's awesome.
Before we go too far, I wanted to talk about, because so far what we've learned is you've had a lot of really tough decisions to make in your career and life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What was the decision process like after you graduated from AI and then you decided to go to Animation Mentor?
It was just, AI was great. I know you guys are AI alum, and you guys have an AI alum on the show and teachers and stuff, and maybe with some mixed opinions. But like for me, it was really great. It was a nice introduction. Like I said, as a small town guy, I didn't know anything. So for me, it was a non-scary way of being introduced. So into the art form. So I really appreciated that, and that was really great for me. But at the time, and still kind of this day, Chicago was not a huge animation mecca. There was more game studios here at the time, but a lot of them have faded away, and I just wasn't being challenged.
What?
And hey, it's
Dombeck.
I know.
Yo,
man.
Where have you been?
It's like a class reunion in here. What's up, Rich?
Welcome. Keep going, Corey.
What's he gonna say? What were we talking about? Yeah. Oh, Animation Mentor. So basically, like my friend. So I worked at a company that, and I was not the senior most animator, but one of like mid-level or sub-senior. So there's like one senior animator, then I was like one of 2 other senior animators, I guess.
Right, one of the leads, right?
Yeah, lead. I was like, what's that word?
Yeah, you're one of the leads. You would lead a project, yeah.
Yeah. So then we had some junior animators come, for lack of a better word, and they were Dan Segara and Tony Mecca, and Jason Williams.
Jason
Williams, Justin. Okay, I know 2 Jason.
Yeah.
I know 2 different Williams. I was confused.
Right.
I know Charlie Williams.
Yeah.
Serena Williams was just in the fun prompt.
Serena was here.
Yeah.
And so they've gone on, like Tony, like they've all gone on to do like Blue Sky and all all the big places.
Yeah.
But Dan was actually and I think all of us had done Animation Mentor at some point. But Dan was actually the first one, and he did it, and I was just behind it. He kind of just convinced me, like I could see him getting better and really kind of doing the acting stuff because I was an actor. I'm like, I like video games, but I wasn't really doing the acting stuff. And I see he's doing making the same acting choices, same decisions as an actor. That's like, oh, this is great. This is what I want to do. I get to do all that acting, character work. So I joined up. So I was like the fourth graduating class.
Yeah.
Fourth or fifth graduating class, something like that.
Yeah.
So still early on, and still had some growing pains, but all in all, a rewarding experience. And obviously, I learned a lot. I had, Doug Dooley was one of my teachers, and then Pixar, great. He really pushed me to the limit, and that was awesome. Like I learned so much from Doug. So that decision was just to get better, just to see that there's people out there like what's the old phrase? Iron sharpening iron or steel sharpening steel. Like it was like I be around people that just know better because I wasn't around that, and seeing Dan do that really pushed me to do that as well. And then like Tony followed in our footsteps, and next to Jason and everybody else. So it was great. It was a really rewarding experience. And since then, obviously, Anim School, a lot of other places popped up that are doing more things. I'm like, now you want to go back and learn all those techniques because it was still so new, even then.
And everybody was rooting for you too, rooting for you guys that did that because you guys got to understand, Sketchstone. Corey was doing this stuff when he had a full-time job in game development.
Yeah, we all were. Yeah,
all of them were doing it. So that's the part that was like inspiring for me because I know he was working the 80 hours like I was. And all of them were doing Animation Mentor in the evenings. And I was like, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
I went. Like, you just left at 3 a.m. with me. Like, how are you getting your homework done? Animation Mentor was really pushing them, too. Like, they had some homework, like those first 5 or 6 graduating classes. I mean, they still do now. They didn't change it. It's not easier now. But it was some, I
did, because we were a 3D Studio Max studio. 3D Studio Max studio.
And so you had to use Maya, right?
At work, but we used Maya in Animation Mentor, and I never touched Maya before, and they don't use Maya. They say, here's the program.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
It wasn't that back in the day. It was like, you'll learn Maya. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Which is fine. It was totally true. Everything is true. They're like, learn how to set a key, learn how to move and rotate, and you'll be fine. And that's what I did for the first, quarter semester, which is like, all right, I can set a key and I can move stuff. Which, funny enough, those habits I still do. I don't use a lot of shortcuts or hotkeys per se, or tools or plugins. I'm like, I set a key. Like, I still don't really use breakdown keys. I just use set key because that's what I learned. I do it all by hand. I don't lose. Took me a long time to get into like the tween machines plugins.
It was interesting how they taught you to. I always wanted to know this too from Animation Mentor because I looked at that program a lot too. But I always wanted to know, like, if I can I wish I could do it when I was looking at just watch a class because I heard that before.
AutoKey. Tommy's. Yeah, I know.
But the way they taught early on was like very like stripped down, and they didn't make a big deal that it was Maya. But I felt like they were showing them some weird magic because I knew Corey didn't know Maya at all. So I was always wondering like how hard it was for you to like actually get turn in a good, what you feel to be a good project, in the first couple of quarters, even though they didn't really emphasize it as much.
Yeah, but that was kind of Bobby Beck's, one of the founders, his thing that I think he still says today is like, that's how he started. He's like, he didn't know necessarily Maya or programs. Like, as long as I know how to set a key, that's all you need to know. Everything else is kind of the same. And that's kind of like thinking about the industry and, like I said, going back to the acting comparison of auditioning and demo reels. It's like, I'm amazed because I've been fortunate enough to been on the hiring side of several people in all the studios I've worked for. And I like to feel that I give those applicants, I can see through the process. I'm looking for a process, not necessarily, we're working on a project that involves, dinosaurs. Can you animate a dinosaur? I don't care if you've animated a dinosaur in your life. I just want to know that you know the principles of animation. But I feel like now, Jack, I don't know what your experience is, but like, I will show, it doesn't matter what I put in my reel, to be like, great, have you animated a dinosaur? Because that's what we're doing is dinosaurs. And it's like,
I mean, that's
it happens in all.
Those people are morons. But
unfortunately,
I think it's a symptom of there just being an overwhelming flood of applicants, and it's like the subconscious way of, paring down the applicants.
Sure. I get it,
but it's not a good way.
That I guess.
Yeah.
But so Animation Mentor was great. So then I just kind of took that and, like I said, just kept working. I still work on my own projects. I always have a project. I'm thankfully, the trick back then was like you couldn't get rigs, so you wanted to go to Animation Mentor back then just to get a rig to use because they're still hard to get. But now, thanks to all these specialists in the internet, like you can go get some great rigs.
There's some really nice ones out there, yeah.
Yeah, I've been using the Spider-Man rig and just for fun, and they're all out there. So it's great. Again, I wish if I was 10 years younger, I'd be hitting it right about the right time now, where just everything's available and easy to get.
Cool.
Yeah.
Taking chat. Okay, cool. We're good.
Oh, what are we reading?
Catching up with the chat.
No, I saw. I try to watch what everyone is doing, and Charlie. It looked like Charlie was making a move to the mic, so I don't like cutting people off either. But sometimes we get these awkward pauses. Okay, so then, so you went to AI. You started working at high voltage. Then you started doing Animation Mentor. And Bobby Beck, I met him because have you heard of Artella?
Oh yeah, Artella, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I went to some open door thing that they do anyway. So I got to meet name dropper. I got to meet
he's a cool guy,
Bobby Beck that way. So anyway, after all that, what did you do? Like, did Animation Mentor help you find a job, or was that kind of your responsibility?
It was basically ultimately my responsibility. Like I said, it was still kind of. I have a lot of my wife hates it because we believe in speaking positively into the world. Don't speak negatively because you put it out there and then stuff like that comes true. But my family has our own form of bad luck. So where it's like we get really close to things. Look, we're always like, you're always the next person in the line right before they shut the ride down. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh man.
We're always right on the edge of greatness, and then gets taken away from us. Right. So the one story, I have several, almost stories, but when I graduated, somewhere through Animation Mentor, at some point, I got an email about getting into Disney apprenticeship. They're like, hey, I don't remember if they said I got it or they were considering me for it, like I was one of the final applicants. I never applied for it. Like I sent out an application to everything, but I wasn't like, I'm doing this. They contacted me out of the blue saying, hey, we'd like to have you in our apprenticeship. Now the semester before, someone who graduated Animation Mentor, like literally right next to me, she was like literally in the procession line next to me, was Kira. And I would never be able to pronounce her last name. Kira L, who's now a Disney supervisor or something like that. She had gotten an apprenticeship the semester before. So I emailed her. I'm like, hey, Kira, I got this email. What does this mean? What should I do? She's like, oh my gosh, Corey, that's great. Congratulations. That's awesome. It's a good sign. I'm like, well, I don't think it's official yet, but okay, that's good. I'm glad you know what this is. And it sounds like, so like, I emailed them back, and I think maybe they sent something back. Like, okay. And then silence. And then I was like, email, hey, what about that apprenticeship? So I emailed Animation Mentor, and I'm like, hey, okay, I don't, this is like still a young, fresh face, like way out of my league. I'm like, Disney's calling me, they want to hire me or something like that, but they didn't respond back. What should I do? You get all the warnings of don't be annoying, don't email every day, like, okay, so they said, well, I know the person. I'll go talk to them. And oh yeah, they're going through some changes right now, so just hang tight. Okay. Email Disney, nothing back. Email Animation Mentor. Hey, the thing, yeah, still no word yet. Wait. Email Animation Mentor. Hey, have you heard anything from Disney? No email back. Like everybody's disappearing. So come to find out, I think like at the time, the person at Animation Mentor who was kind of acting as a liaison quit, and there's a new liaison, and the person at Disney or the program quit or was temporarily suspended, and no one told me anything. So it just went away, and it never happened. And I was like, no. So in a way, they were there to help, but I don't think anything ever actually came directly from their efforts.
Yeah, because I think that's an important thing to point out. Animation Mentor doesn't necessarily guarantee you a position, whereas I'm only assuming that AI kind of got you set the hook by saying, oh yeah, we have a 80% placement rate.
Yeah. I mean, AI was great. That was actually I got my first. So the best thing about AI is we're a lot of people that are in the chat here, Rich and Chris. Eventually, I think we were part of we're the team alpha of a internship over at High Voltage / Red Eye, which is our mocap studio. Mm-hmm. So we interned there our last semester, we being me and Rich and a bunch of other people. So we got to do some work for them, got to know some people, and the director of that studio went over to High Voltage. So eventually, after I graduated AI, I took a job traveling the country doing art demos for Corel on a bus. I lived on a bus.
I remember that.
Remember that? It was a hot summer.
I was so jealous because I just wanted to not be in Chicago anymore.
And they were everywhere.
I didn't even care.
well, remember when they came to Chicago? It was like it was a big, huge setup.
Yeah, you had T-shirts with our pictures on it. It was great.
That's right. You and Steve, right?
Steve and Rich. No, yeah, me and Steve. Rich was Red Eye, but he was on the bus. So yeah, me and Steve did it. So they only picked 6 people out of literally thousands of applicants in the entire country, and me and Steve from the same school. And I got the job. I was told, this is irrelevant to anything else, but we had to send in a video of you presenting. So those are my acting skills, quote unquote, presentation skills, I'll say, came in handy. So like, show us a video of you demonstrating a tool in Photoshop, just because that's what we could do on tour. So I demonstrated the pen tool, right? But I didn't use Photoshop. I literally used a drawing pad and a pen. I'm like, okay, Photoshop is like a pen, and you just kind of do this, and it's spelled out like a word, like pick me or choose me or something like that, or some like coded message, really hokey. And then I did 2 pratfalls in the video.
What? Are you serious?
And I'm serious. Dead serious. Like I slipped. Like at the end, I slipped on the marker or something like that. Or no, maybe I did 1 pratfall. Whatever it was. We get the job. We go to training in New York, and this was like 2 weeks. Like we did this, and the next week he's like, "Can you be in New York for an on-screen test?" So me and Steve, yeah, okay. We go out there. He's like, "Great. Go home. Have a call. Can you be in New York next week? Pack a bag for 6 months." We're like, okay. So we lived on a bus. We missed our graduation. We missed our AI graduation because that was the day we're flying out to New York for the job. But anyway, so we go out there for training in New York. And the guy told me, he's like, when you spelled out those words, whatever I spelled, he's like, I was pretty sure I wanted you on the bus. He's like, and then when you did the pratfall, you were on the bus. I was the first one. I was the first one officially on the bus. He's like, you're in. So, and that was there's so many stories. That's a whole nother podcast just to get through that job. But I came back from that job, they paid really well. Like unfortunately, I had a false sense of pay scale after that because it was road rules on a bus. So we had per diem, our salary, and no expenses. So like me and Steve, we like, so everybody else we worked with, a lot of them were actors from LA. So like, I need $600 a week per diem for food. We're like, okay, we can probably get away with $30. Okay, 600 is fine. So they'd give us $600, and Steve and I would go to KFC once a day, buy a bucket, eat chicken, and pocket the rest of the per diem. So
it works.
So I went home like, great, hey, it's really easy to make money as an artist. Little did I know. Long story short, after I did that though, the director from Red Eye now worked as a HR person at High Voltage, and she literally called me and said, because I didn't have a job for a few months, but it was fine because I had money to live off of from this job, and she's like, hey, do you want a job? I said, yeah. Great, you start tomorrow. The end. Like, I never had an interview.
Are you serious? That's how you got it?
Maggie, you know Maggie. Maggie called me. She's like, you want a job? I said, yep, great. Here's your pay. You start tomorrow. Cool.
What was your title? What was your title? Like,
I think I came in kind of as an animator, although I didn't officially animate for a while. Like, I think my first game was NBA Inside Drive, like 2003 or something like that, 2004, whatever year it was. So I started modeling stadiums. Then I do like cheerleader animations and sideline animations, and then eventually just worked my way up. They knew I wanted to be an animator. Maggie knew I was an animator, but they're like, you'll get in there at some point. So they just had to wait for a spot to open.
Crazy.
Yeah, but that's every job I've gotten. When I got a job, I went to Utah, like I said, with Mike and Dave at Luminous. People that know the Luminous story can appreciate the history of that. So I was sitting there, like the money got pulled out from underneath us, sitting there without a job for a long time, ran out of money, and Microsoft calls. I hadn't applied for Microsoft in 2 years, and they found my resume in the back of a file somewhere. They said, you're perfect for this position. Would you like to come up for a 9-month contract? Great. Come on up. It was like the easiest thing, but like it takes so long. It's one of those things, like as much as I struggle to get any attention from studios that won't give me a second look, other studios are like, you're perfect, come on. It's such a discrepancy. I don't understand it. So
wow.
It's so crazy. Like, again, going back to, so after I graduated Animation Mentor, going back to my Disney woes, I went to SIGGRAPH. It was like 2007. I graduated Animation Mentor, went to SIGGRAPH with my Animation Mentor reel. And they had a thing where you go up to Disney's booth and they would have animators critique reels. Right. I'm like, and I'm mentally prepared. I'm like, I'm so ready just to get torn apart. I'm like, tear this down. Tell me. I'm like, I'm ready for it. I just want to be the best. Sharpen me. So I go and pick to the guy. He looks at it. He's like, that's good. Yeah, great. You shouldn't have a problem finding work anywhere. Good. Off we go.
It's the Jedi mind trick. That hurt more.
Tear it apart, make me better. And he didn't. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going around not necessarily with a false sense of confidence, but thinking like, okay, I guess I can get a job somewhere. Does anybody want to give me a job?
Right.
No. Okay. I just go back home then. That's fine. So, so I don't get it. Some people liked it, like people like Belzer and this guy in Disney, and other people don't. So it's a formula I can't figure out. Not that that's a formula. Maybe that's the problem. But
I think it has a lot to do with your personality too. The more someone gets to know you, the easier it is to have you around.
Yeah.
And I think,
that in time
that we always say that. We always say, always be cool because you don't know who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens
all the time.
That happened to me. Jack died laughing. Just this weekend.
Did it happen again?
And I think I told you guys this story before. Before we started the show, but just for folks that are listening, Jack and I were representing Sketch Zone at Ground Zero Animation Expo, and some guy walks up and is like, "Hey, my name is Tony." I was like, "What's going on, Tony?" La la la, and then we go to make a video to send to Shiloh because Shiloh's amazing and everyone loves him. But we were gonna tease Shiloh a little bit, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna tell this guy Tony," and then so I start the video, and then I was like, "Hey Shiloh, it's Carlos. I want you to meet Tony." Tony goes, "Zig's Corner, what?" And I freaked out because I follow Zig's Corner and I love his work. I freaked out so bad that my Instagram crashed.
What you do? Turn it off? Like, oh
no, I don't. Charlie, I have no idea. Like, I tripped out that was Zig's Corner, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
That's the video you want. You want the face when he says the name, and Carlos realizes.
Yeah.
Because this is his Tony guy
like
here.
His profile is a drawing of him, but it's like a line art caricature of him. So he could be. I didn't know if he was black, white, or in between. Come to find out, he's in between. Hey, welcome, Dave.
I just want to mention my friend Dave is on the chat. He was on the tour too. He was one of our leaders on the tour. The traveling tour that.
Oh, the Corel tour.
That's cool.
The infamous tour.
Corel. He can verify all the crazy stories.
Welcome, Dave. Welcome.
Did you find it challenging when you were at going through classes in Animation Mentor? Was it a challenge to do everything online?
Gosh, it's a good question. Meaning like the interactions with the teachers and such?
Yeah, because one of the questions that we get a lot is, first is, should I go to art school? And then the second one is, if I go to art school, does it have to be the brick and mortar kind, or do you suggest the virtual schools?
I'm all for well-rounded knowledge, and I would always suggest to be versatile, just in a world. I mean, the best inspiration comes from everything outside of your profession. So like, be well-rounded, know stuff about the world and science and stuff. So be smart, be a smart person, first and foremost. But if you can be that person and not go to brick and mortar and go to an online school, because that's what you really want to do, I would say do that, to be honest. Or if there are brick and mortar schools that maybe can offer an equal education, in which case that hands-on I think is valuable and maybe more useful to people. It all depends on your learning type. As I have 3 girls that we talked about, the thing we've learned about having 3 kids the same age is that they're all different, and we're learning so much about development of people as a person. And you start to go back like, oh, why am I the way I am? Oh, because this is how I was raised, or I didn't have this as a kid. And you see you in them. I'm like, oh, you get that from me. So that's okay. Everything makes sense now. So if it works, I think that mainly because the online schools are taught by the sharpest knives in the drawer. Like I said, I worked with Dave Gallagher of Anim School, and his rigging is beyond compare. That genius level. He does those rigging. He teaches those classes and has made that class, that structure. So, gosh, if that's what you want to do, I think you can get on. The tough stuff, yes, it's tough online because you have to work with video. Sometimes you just want to point, like, dude, and you want to act it out, and you don't have necessarily that lab time that maybe you would have, like we did like an AI.
Yeah.
But
jump up and do it. Yeah.
But the thing I know Animation Mentor really got good at was peer review. Like they have the forum, and I think I've never been a forum person of any kind. I don't Facebook that much. I don't do a lot of online stuff. That's not me. But people have found success in forums. They have peer reviews, peer coaches, peer everything. Now, granted, you're getting critique and help from people maybe at the same level as you, which to me was always dangerous. I'm like, not for nothing, but I want to hear from people I know, like opinions. I don't say trust, maybe too heavy of a word, but I want to hear from the experts. That was just me being picky, and I want the best of the best.
Yeah, for sure.
But the community is definitely there. And once you find somebody, like there were some very high level animators like in my class, I'm like, oh, I would trust this guy to tell me something. Because I know he's good. Like Ken, my friend Ken Fountain. Like if he gave me a tip, I would listen to it even back then. And he's a very successful animator now. So you'll find those people when you're like, you'll have your go-to coaches. I think that's totally plausible and probably cheaper and more useful if that's what you want to do.
But I'm glad you said the learning type, though, and knowing what type of person you are, because I think we get asked a lot, and I hear it a lot, or just around other podcasts in the industry, you know, because people project their good or bad situations they had at their college. But at the same time, I think it does take a different type, a good person to be a different type of person to do an online thing or do something like Animation Mentor or Anim School or CG Spectrum or whatever you pick, you know, because it's a lot of self-starter.
Mm-hmm.
To be a self-starter, you have to have discipline, more so discipline. Sometimes brick and mortars can give you a little bit more discipline.
Yeah.
I think if you're that type of person, you know, I want to just focus on not necessarily saying you can't have.
Because I realize that I'm not a forums person. I'm like, oh, I really don't like chatting on the forums. I'm a face-to-face person. That's my theater. I want to be surrounded by people. I want to get up and share the energy of the room. And even though I think I graduated with maybe one of the top 5 reels of that class, there were people that were very successful. Like people who were successful in the forums were successful in classes.
Right.
Interesting.
So, and even though I had a good reel, I wasn't as well known or didn't get my name out there as much. It's probably detrimental to maybe my career and my immediate advancement because I graduated in 2007. 2008 is when Iron Man came out. So I've been being told to do acting shots for 4 years or however long, and between AI and animation mentor for 4 years, do acting. Iron Man came out and the whole superhero revolution began, and everything was action shots. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So,
quickly,
not that mattered, but again, like that would have been a time where had I had better connections, people would be like, oh yeah, I know Corey, I know his personality. Like you said, once you get to know people, you can hang with them. That's how you get in.
Yeah.
So, I think if you want to do online, you got to be prepared to get in that way. I was not prepared for that. That may have been my biggest hurdle or my biggest setback.
So what was the forum
hang
thing?
on real quick before and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but before we go too far, I wanted to give the listeners a pro tip. Do this before you spend all kinds of money on whatever school. Pick something that you want to learn. If it's drawing or digital painting or whatever, and then go on YouTube and do a couple YouTube videos. If you improve, you might be good for online stuff. If you don't pick it up, then start maybe taking a look at the brick and mortar type of face-to-face.
Sure. Find the right one. That's a really good tip. That's a good idea because they say it all the time. People push the online stuff nowadays because I feel like it's the cool thing to do, and they say, "Oh, save money and go. You can do it. Everything you need is on the internet." But
it's not for everyone.
Everybody learns differently. So
yeah, I mean, if you told me if I could have taken the animation mentor class in a brick and mortar school, I would have done the brick and mortar in a heartbeat. But at the time, that was like the only place to go to have that level of teaching and mentors. So.
No, that makes sense.
Charlie, I cut you off before. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to ask Corey. He said something about forums. When you mentioned the forums with the animation mentor, what did that entail? Was that just somebody really in tune with engaging on their online, chat area and like asking questions that way and reading?
Yeah, it's just like putting your stuff out there for critique and review because everybody had their own. No, still remember, it was still in its infancy. It's probably gotten a lot better. Like when I first started, like the peer stuff didn't even really show up until I was pretty much done. But it was just like, hey, here's my shot. What do you think? Or some of it wasn't even related to homework. It was like, how was your weekend? It was just like hanging out with buddies. And I'm like, I'm working on stuff. I don't really sit in a chat room chat kind of guy.
Okay.
That just wasn't my. I'm an introvert. I'm only extroverted on stage. That's my release. Otherwise, I'm all focused in. So that wasn't me. So yeah, so it was just having a personality on the forums and just reaching out and being like, hey, how are you? How are you? Really good at meeting people. and just befriending people that way. That's
Interesting. Yeah.
really kind of all it took. But it was interesting. And going and part of it was like, people would ask for advice. I'm like, am I the right person to give advice? Like, I would doubt my own critique of someone else's. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So I was too self-regulated. I don't think other people, plenty of people gave shitty advice. Sorry, can I swear? I did. So it was like, I shouldn't have cared as much. I cared, to me, I don't say as an actor, but words have always been important to me. I'm very careful with the words I choose. I say what I mean what I say, that old adage. So I'm like, I don't want to give someone in a wrong direction or give bad advice pretending to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I guess you were in the infancy of that, like they call it the online campus at that point. But yeah, it's interesting. I guess cause I definitely known other people that were like, I think Mecca, when he went, that part of the animation was more fleshed out more, where you can instant messaging and all that stuff. And I knew he was like on that a lot, that section.
And that's totally Tony. I'm like, that's Tony's personality to a T. He's fantastic for that. He's always talking. He's always meeting people and getting out there. That's his personality. He's a total extrovert.
Yeah.
So, that just balanced well with him. So.
You seem two sides, yeah.
So you, your career took you to Reno. What were you doing in Reno?
Like I said, rather than take contract work in LA, I had an opportunity to go work in Reno for IGT, which is a slot machine company, which doesn't sound awfully exciting. But at the time, you gotta remember, I came from Luminous in Utah, which was a failed stock market crash thing. Went up to Microsoft, which was great, but that was also contract. And people were like, yeah. Oh, the thing with Microsoft, once you work for Microsoft for a year, you have to leave for 3 months.
You have to leave. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So
as a contractor.
As a contractor. And as an artist, it was hard to get Blue Badge. Blue Badge was meaning full-time. So that's what you wanted, was a Blue Badge. So you couldn't Blue Badge as an artist. It was hard. So I'm like, I just had gotten over this poor thing in Utah. Just got a job. I'm going to start looking for a new job. And now I'm going to go to LA and get a job for 9 months and then look for another job. I got tired of looking for jobs. And so IGT went down there. Ironically, I interviewed and did like a test. This is the most ridiculous. They gave me 4 hours to model a character, rig the character, design a logo, show a final logo with concept, and potentially animate.
Flashbacks.
In 4 hours.
Yeah, dude.
So I filmed it spectacular fashion. And so much so that they went back and changed the test method. They're like, wait a second, this is a horrible way to test people because no one does this.
But maybe you didn't fail it. Maybe you...
No, well, I know. Well, so the studio I was applying for did not hire me. But I actually made up with several studios. And somebody, my demo reel made it across the desk of somebody in a different studio, a better studio, I might say, and said, we've never had a true animator really come through here. And brought me in.
Animator.
Animator, yes.
So he was building a fledgling, a new 3D department. He's like, I want to build a real 3D department. So they had a couple guys who were there from LA, like old VFX guys from LA, come in. They eventually brought in some more LA people, and who were very, very good artists. And so he's like, hey, would you like to build? Would you like to be on the ground floor of this, building of this 3D department as the only animator? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Because I get to build, I get to help influence, and it was great. I'm like, yes, I'll take that. 9 to 5, no overtime, good pay, good benefits. Sure, who wouldn't do that? Every day of the week. So that's why I went there, and it was great. The guy that hired me left a month later. so his brainchild was kind of left floating.
Where are you going?
Where are you going, buddy? What's this idea that we had? But the people he hired were still in place, and they're still there today. We're all there, and we've kind of developed into almost like an internal third party. So we have our own internal 3D department, and any project that needs it kind of comes and makes requests from us. So it's great because what's been good about that, as I'm surrounded by other talented people from different backgrounds, I've learned things outside of animation, like substance painter and modeling, and not where I call myself a modeler, but again, I'm more in touch with the other disciplines and the industry as a whole, which has been useful. And I feel that's just inspiring. It helps me. Will help me in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So because if you haven't been to a casino, slot machines are huge now. Like there's like giant screens, and like there's like full LED. We have like 3D now, and they're doing like 4D haptic stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So what was that department then? Was it doing more of the intros or cinematic stuff, or were you actually making the games too? Since you were like
yes, all of the above. Like the attracts, we do cinematics, we do in-game, because now we've moved to real time. That was the big push. Like originally, before we did real time, we were doing pre-rendered stuff. So we had a Star Wars game, of course. Star Wars. So we recreated the whole Hoth AT-AT scene as a pick bonus. So there's all these things with the AT-ATs walking and falling, and I was studying Star Wars and duplicating those. It was great. I had to do lightsaber fights, and it was cool. But then we moved to real time, and we're Unity now, so we're kind of back in my comfort zone of gaming. And that's been great to kind of bring influence to that and kind of teach people that have never done gaming. But it's huge now. So, like we just did a Jurassic Park game, and I think I can say because we have to show it's public, but I mean we do full renders like dinosaur fights and coming at you. I mean, it's the whole thing. So it's almost it's basically becoming studio quality.
Yeah,
best of our ability.
Corey, you have to tell Jack and Carlos and the rest of the listeners about the animation software you use that we've been talking about.
Fine. I'm convinced that Charlie's got to hire me. I'm telling Charlie to come put me on contract. I've come teach.
I've been looking at it more because, like I told you, I glazed over it, but now I've really been looking at it, and I know Jack and Carlos are looking for animation things, but I was telling them you could do it not just game stuff. You can do regular animation.
I don't want to oversell. I mean, unfortunately, like my work computer crashed. That's where my spine stuff was. Like the day before I went on vacation, it's like your computer crashed, and then I go on vacation. So,
no.
A lot of my examples are on that, but it's a 2D. I don't want to say it's strictly. It's not like an SVG. It's not necessarily vector only, but you can bring in vectors. Like I made stuff in Illustrator and brought it in, but you can just as easily bring in a PNG or a JPEG. But it's for animators. You can put bones in there. It deals with a slot mechanism. So bones contain slots, and slots contain pictures. You can have flipbook animations, mesh deformation, vertex animation, overlay, all on the same image, doing this working at the same time, and it's non-destructible. So say I create a character, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot a bone in the middle of the spine. You can just add it in, and you can animate draw order of all the images at any time. And it exports directly to Unity, so it's a real time. It works in real-time engines.
What are the other exports it has?
Well, I mean, it exports a lot of games. I think Unreal, Unity, a lot of other.
And real-time sequences too, and stuff like that. If it's
so you can export it as a PNG sequence. You can do normal, sprite sheets if you want to. You can export it as a QuickTime movie, whatever else. So my new thing has been getting this involved in UI, like in IGT and in other places. Like, hey, we have a box, a menu go across the screen. It doesn't just have to go to, because traditionally it's just been like a programmer, an engineer goes point A, point B, there. But I'm like, it can go in, as Jack, as you know, you can go in like this or like this. It can come in heavy, it can come in light, it can ease in, ease out, all those animation stuff. I'm like, you could get the feeling. You could use that one box and create a feeling for a game beyond what anybody here thinks you can do, just with a box, just with a true animator, a true artist in tandem working together. So that's been my push, and it's slowly coming along. But I think I told Charlie that's when I want to come talk to him with the VR stuff to input that into a Unity. And also, I want to work up a demo for you, Charlie, to come present to you guys because that would be.
I think it would be really good for AR too.
He's pushing real hard for that contract, Charlie.
Yeah. I've already had him in, so I already have him on my list for contractors. It's just, just waiting. Like,
but it's one of those things I've yet to see somebody do that. Yeah. And the thing about Spine Notes, it's a really small file size, so it's inexpensive.
Oh, yeah, that's the other part. Yeah, it's like really cheap.
So it's unbelievable. Like my first test I showed this to Charlie was I recreated parts of Steamboat Willie, the Mickey Mouse cartoon, with.
I think I sent those to you guys, right?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that.
Because you cut all of them. You cut. So what did you do? Take the original frame, cut it all up, right, and then just reanimated it.
Sure, parts of it I just duplicated. Parts of it, I made it to mesh in the spine. So there's like bone animation. Some of it's just flip books. I just really like the paddle wheel was just 4 or 5 frames going around and this and that. But
yeah, I think we were talking about it at work. It was like we were saying somebody made the joke. Somebody gave like a paper cutout animatronics. Like it's either because it's really like just a bunch of cutouts and stuff, but the whole you infuse a bone into those cutouts, and now you can you have the whole.
It's so easy. But the thing is, you can then take that and put that in After Effects and use that as a layer, and then add things to it if you want to fancy it up some. But as far as animation goes, I find it far superior to After Effects in its animation ability.
For sure, because with that you have to buy a lot of plugins for to try to do the similar thing. But you're still not rigging. Vectors, you're not. There's no that level. I tell people we can do this, and no, you can't do this. This is
because when you export it, the bone data doesn't get exported, so the bones don't count. So it's basically just the images. So I've been doing some sea creatures and with really complicated bone structures with
that's why it's so light.
Lots of bones. And it's still the meg.
Oh, that makes sense. So that's why it's so light too, because it was not. I was assuming the bone data was in there and it was just crunching it some kind of way in there, whatever that file format is. But no, so it's literally that's kind of crazy. How they separated from the. That's awesome. Pretty cool. I think it'd be really good for AR too, because that's the big push right now too. So bring your UI to life that way, because the hardest thing for AR VR is how do you get people to look at what you want to look at, and how do you interact. If you throw them into a 3D space, or you're projecting a 3D space, or you're looking into a 3D space, how do you get them to interact? UI needs to come at you, and it needs to be more.
But it also comes with built-in triggers, so you can assign triggers there. So as things happen, that'll trigger an event, and you can take that into Unity and have that accounted for. It's really cool.
Nice. Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm just kind of touching the iceberg with it. I still feel like I've seen some. I think they use it a lot over in Russia, because on LinkedIn I see all these Russian artists using it. There's some great work with that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so inspiring.
It's amazing work if you look at the work. There's just some amazing illustrative work, where from a 2D aspect, the subject matter was already amazing, and Spine's able to give it a level of animation that you're like, oh man, that's just great to look at and fun. And even some of the games they've made with it, the animations are intuitive, and they tell a story, and they're intricate, in a way that's really cool, and it's just refreshing.
And for people like me, I was just gonna say that kind of reintroduced my love or fascination with motion graphics, which was something that I always initially had interest in with my multimedia or communications degree back at Bradley, my first college. That was kind of the area where their department focused. I moved away from that, but I'm like, oh, this is so accessible, because now this program speaks in animator terms or in artist terms. I'm like, I get it. It's super smooth. The learning curve is really, really, really small. It's so fast.
Especially if you're an animator coming into
it.
Animator.
Term. Hashtag.
That's it twice.
Animator.
That happened to me too. I a couple months ago I wrapped up a project for this company in Miami, and they came to me because they needed help. They had a tight deadline, and they had gone and tried to hire someone. So when I started showing them stuff, they're like, "Oh my God, like this is so completely different than the previous person." I was like, "Would you guys go to Fiverr?" And then they had that guilty look on their face, like, oh. I was like, "Yeah, don't do Fiverr."
Oh my
And
goodness.
then, yeah, eventually we got the project done. But yeah, like, get out of here, dude. If you're gonna need an animator, go get an animator. It's gonna be cheaper.
You want to hear my quick acting story? Similar occasion. This is off animation, but so in Reno, I do. If you go to Reno, you can probably still see a local commercial for me selling pie at one of the casinos, dressed as. This is one of those things where, like I was listening to one of your older podcasts, and Carlos, you're talking about like having that sketchbook full of ideas. So when someone comes by, like, oh, I've already got an idea for that. Same thing. Like I knew, everybody said I had the similarity. Someone looked to Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Like someday I'm gonna get called upon to be Sheldon, and sure enough, the video guy at IGT, like, he's like, "Do you do a Sheldon impression?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." And
he had it ready. Yes.
I did, because he's like, "I got a director friend that wants to do a commercial, and he needs somebody that looks like Sheldon, and you're the only person I can think of." I'm like, "Yeah." So I did a quick screen test and all this stuff. So I'm out there doing commercials. So like what was the line? He's like, what the hell was it? Like, let's see, what are these pies made of? Oh, pies. It's stuff like that. And what are the shots? And so in the script was really kind of shoddy. It got cleaned up to be a little bit more cleaner. And if you go to like my LinkedIn or Facebook page, it's probably on there. We can post it somewhere. It's hilarious. And I got my friend hired as Penny. I'm there in full Sheldon gear. And at the very end, when the line says free pie, you're just supposed to say free pie. It's like one of those homemade commercials. Free pie. So he's like, "Can you lift up the pie?" Right? And like hold it like this. So he's like, "Oh, so he got the shot." He's like, "Okay." And action. Free pie. He's like, "Wow, great. You hit your mark." Amazing. He's like, "Can we do that again?" I'm like, "Sure, just for coverage." Okay, and action. Free pie. I did the exact same thing. And the guy stepped away from his camera. He's like, "Holy, you hit the same exact mark twice in a row."
What?
I'm like, "Who do you normally work with? All I did was this twice." That's
so exciting.
And like at one point, like my eye line was wrong, and I was looking up at the girl playing Penny, my friend Megan, and he's like, "Oh, the camera angle's not working." I'm like, "Well, you just want me to look over here, like past her, like she's over here. Like, you want me to just like look over here and pretend I'm talking to her? Would that work at camera?" He's like, "You can do that?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, God.
Where are you at?
I think you should.
But the camera guys were great. Like, they were super efficient at their job. These were like bums. They were good camera guys, but I'm like, who do you normally work with, you poor people? Anyway, long story short, that's irrelevant. That was just my free pie plug, I guess.
Or who are they?
I love it.
I'll send you the commercial. You can post it. They're hilarious. And people.
For the record, this is the first time we've ever had someone play Sheldon and present a pie on this show.
It might be the only time ever it will happen.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah.
I don't know how they didn't get sued for character rights, but I guess that's not my problem. So
Yeah. 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 For
They
sure
say
you
it's
like
not that Sheldon. It's
Parody.
someone else.
You're allowed to do parody.
Sheldon. You're
Right.
Sheldon.
Look at him. He looks just like Sheldon. Leave him alone. Yep, believe it or not, we're up over 2 hours. So let's go ahead and play this little game.
Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that.
Corey Stisser, the animator.
Yes.
I'm never gonna
This
send that one.
It rolls
Ever.
off the tongue. It's great.
ever. This or that. Live theater or movie theater?
Oh, live theater.
Loaded question.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way. Animating in Max or animating in Maya?
Ooh.
My come on.
Mm-hmm. You already kind of answered this one, but tough. Online education like Animation Mentor or classroom like AI?
All else equal, or
Just you. What do you prefer? And if you need to describe it and talk about it, it's fine. If it triggers a conversation, it is what it is.
I would almost say online. I would still say online, just because I feel like there's less downtime because you're at your computer. Like the transition between in a class to I'm working on my project to you can kind of multitask and you're just like boom boom, everything's
Interesting. Okay.
All right, I see you.
But I still appreciate that one-on-one interaction of brick and mortar. Like I said, if I could have the same education from online and brick and mortar, I would do it. But sometimes you get wasted time in those labs or in those classrooms, and online tends to be more efficient.
I hear you. Being a father of triplets, would you rather watch Three's Company or Three Stooges?
Oh, I'm a Three Stooges guy.
Yeah, son.
Don't get me wrong, Jack Ritter and Jack Tripper, his alias, are gold. I've watched that, I studied that, but Three Stooges is hard to beat.
Waltz or Foxtrot?
I always like the waltz. The waltz is classic. I'm probably better at it.
That's a good question.
All right. And for the last one, since you just got back from Hawaii, would you rather have regular cake or molten lava chocolate cake?
I do love me some cake. I would probably say regular cake. I'm not a huge chocolate fan.
So that's thank you for playing this or that. It's just that simple.
When I was in Utah, quick cake story. When I was in Utah, we lost all the money, was very poor. We had to basically rely on people giving us food. And I remember said one day someone's birthday, and I said, boy, I hadn't had cake in like probably 2 years. It felt like someone had a birthday, brought in a cake. I'm like, I love cake. I could have cake all the time. I had cake every week for the next 3 months. And some days that was the only thing I ate. Not by choice, just cake just coming to me.
Cake comes to me.
And here we are looking for money, and I'm like, somehow I wished for cake and it came true. I'm like, wrong.
All right, here's a good story for you. When I was at AI, I bartended at this restaurant in the mall there. It was California Cafe.
Yeah.
You guys remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, needless to say, if you listen to whatever episode it was, common thread in Carlos's life is he's been poor AF pretty much his entire life. So, I was bartending, and I can't tell you how many times that for dinner, I would have olives and cherries. And all you can drink drinks to wash down your sorrows.
There you go. That's rough.
Anyway, yeah, it was crazy, but whatever. I'm too stupid to quit. That being said, let's go ahead and get into.
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
No, I may be cheating a little bit, but I don't care.
You're a cheater.
We're gonna take a look at Amber Aki Huang. This is one of our new friends. She is a super talented illustrator, and her style is super cute. And she actually did a fun prompt for us. She was our neighbor at Ground Zero Animation Expo, and so we got to meet her and we hung out with her, and she came onto the computer and she did her thing, and she made it look super effortless. But she's got skills.
It's nice.
She does have skills.
And this is a super loose tiger. With 6 legs, just to, just cause. Yeah, and one of the cool things that was happening, I kept freaking out because there was a lot of people that came on the computer. Oh, this is a funny story, but there's a lot of people that came on the computer, and just watching them draw, you pick up Photoshop tips. And so it was just really cool to sit there and watch, especially her, because she was right next to us. So we got to know her, and then when she was doing her thing, it was just really cool to see her. And you know how goofy I get when it comes to adding textures and stuff like that to your illustrations. A little fixated on that. So she has all that. She's a complete package. She has cuteness, she has technique, she has texture. She has cartoony, she has more realistic, and that's her sketchbook. Yeah, she's digital, she's traditional. And eventually, probably in the next few weeks, we're going to have her on the show to talk about what she does and how she does it. Yeah. Ground Zero Animation Expo. See you guys next year. So yeah, look at this parrot.
Cool. I love that.
And it's traditional. I believe watercolor. It doesn't really say in the description, but anyway. Yeah, like her stuff is so. And the cool thing was the way we had our tables set up, there was always a crowd in front of our table and in front of the screen, that we had available for the audience to watch the artist draw, was kind of, the crowd just kept crowding around like in front of her table. And I was like, are we invading your space? She goes, no, people keep watching them, but then they look over their shoulder, they see my stuff, and they keep buying things. So please keep drawing, keep drawing.
Works really good for me.
Yeah. And she's a real sweetheart. She's a real gem. Super, super nice. Super, super talented. So yeah, take a look. It's Instagram.com/Amber_Aki, AKI_Huang, HUANG.
Very nice.
Awesome. That's really nice. That's a really good one.
Yeah, she's awesome. Who wants to go? Charles?
Chuck.
You ready?
Yes, I am ready. Let me go ahead and add a screen. Here we go. Come on, screen. Do it. All right. So mine is one of those ones that I've been searching and searching for more work from this person. I have not been able to find it, but he has some stuff on here. So this guy's name is Alessandro Pizzi. Freelance Pizzi.
Alessandro Pizzi.
And he's a freelance concept artist and illustrator. He lives in Bologna, Italy. His stuff, I'm really big in the old school fighting games and fighting game culture. So this Cammy caught my eye, which was really, really, really good to me. I liked the way he rendered his stuff, and then
was that on the recent character design challenge?
I'm not sure. Was it?
I don't know.
For our station?
No, just character design. The Facebook group.
Facebook group. I'm not sure. I have to go back and check to see if that was there. But these other two pieces caught my eye too. Like, check out this one, right?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, like just the way it's rendered. So I searched for this guy. Maybe you guys can find it. I was like, hopefully I can find like a website, Instagram, something else where, because like I feel like ArtStation was like, okay, I'll put some work up here, but I feel like there's another spot with more. Because when I saw the way this chick is rendered here, like this girl on top of this crow, and like, look at that. It was like,
Yeah, that's really good render.
it's like beautiful.
Those feathers. Holy cow.
You know, like, and then like looks like her scattering in her face, and like it's got like, you could tell it's like skin, but it's like she's a bird or something. I think she had butterfly wings just because.
She's like a bird. She's gonna
There's another one. So that piece is really cool, and he seems like he's on ArtStation a lot, but that was cool. Which this might turn into my background actually. But then he had this whole line of this Wild Wild West type of like character development, and this is where the bulk of his stuff is. So we click on here. He has all these really cool character designs for some Wild West. I don't know if it's a challenge or because it says ArtStation here. So I don't know if he did it for a challenge or what, but it's really cool. He has a bunch of character designs here. They're really cool. You know, the sheriff, and looks like to be the Gus the mercenary, the gunslinger, you know. But I love the proportions and stuff, and the hats and stuff, and the crazy barreled guns, you know. It's really cool, which I thought was a little bit different than the other two pieces that he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the collector. But I was really impressed with this. So usually I like to do an artist that has a lot of different stuff where I can find another page to go to. But I was like, that other picture was like, I'm gonna show this guy off and save my other one for next week. But
it's worth it because this guy is dope.
This guy's dope. So, you know, quality over quantity, right? So, you know,
that's another solid pick, Chuck.
So it was for a challenge. So it looked like ArtStation is doing a challenge called Character Design Challenge. Maybe that's what you saw, Jack, too, or maybe it's on another board too. But like he has this whole, like you have to do these challenges. You have to have a whole write up, and like as Corey said earlier, it's very form heavy. So these guys you should be on it. You should be interacting with people, answering questions, and that's kind of like in this day and age when you're doing online challenges, like half of it's communication you have to do, not just posting the artwork up. So if you ever look at some of ArtStation's challenges, you'll have big forum posts like this and people talking about them, and new stuff comes out of them, which is kind of cool. And people's development of those pieces flourish based off of all the different feedback they're getting. So it's kind of cool. And sometimes what happens too is they'll have a 2D side of thing, but maybe somehow like contact Alessandro's like, yo, I want to do the other side too. You know, I want to do like, you know, I want to take one of your characters and make the 3D and enter it in the 3D section or whatever. And that's totally acceptable too also. It kind of does like a crossover. So that a lot of different artists can have, you know, crack at it if 2D is not their thing. Oh, so it's even showing the black and white stuff before you can start coloring it. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this is just showing all the process, which is kind of cool of it. And then all the way down to the silhouettes, the early silhouettes of it, which is always kind of a cool starting point where you're just working with shapes, getting it down. So it's kind of cool. So that shows all his process. So this is actually turned out to be a really good one. Cool. So check him out, Alessandro Pizzi.
Alessandro Pizzi.
I'll send the link.
All right. I'm gonna do something a little weird.
Oh, like last week?
Again.
So this is like this guy makes coins, but it's like graffiti for coins because he takes real coins,
Awesome.
and then he modifies them.
Wait, what?
So these are all real legitimate coins, like European coins, whatever he finds. And then he scratches on there, and he just goes to town.
kids can watch even more full
Grown-ups, log
episodes
in
of their
here,
favorite
and
shows.
your
Kids can watch even more full episodes of their favorite shows.
Good feedback.
What is that from?
Yeah.
But so he takes these coins and then he carves in on top of them, sometimes with colors. So this was one of the ones that like kind of got me. Oh, no, that's not the carving one. There's a carving video.
Is he melting down the faces or something? How is he
No,
getting room? Or just
I
drawing
think
over
the
it?
tool he uses might have a heat component. I can't really tell.
Oh, he's drawing over this.
He carves away.
Yeah.
So he's got $50 of what Kennedy, and he's just making him a robot skull man.
That is straight up
How do people figure out this?
coin
so
graffiti.
That's cool. Look what he's doing. He's making like new bevels and stuff. Like,
Yeah, he'll cut it out, and then he'll even do like a buff pass, and then he does like a little texture pass. Like, wait until you see what he does to fill in that like background shape that he just carved. See, then he does his texture pass.
Oh my goodness!
is this a like electric type of tool? What is this thing?
I don't know, because he's holding it pretty close.
It looks like he's banging it with a.
I bet you. Yeah, I
with a
bet you.
hammer.
Like a little mallet
Yeah.
thing, and it makes it like crinkly like that.
That's crazy.
So he's got all sorts of, and it's all different kinds
But
of
it's not
coins.
heated up. Is it really sharp? See, now I almost need to get him on the show because this is one of those ones where I'm like, I know it's metal, right? Like this, like so.
Well, I'll hit him up and see if he wants to come on.
Because it's not hard.
Right.
It's hard, right? Like it makes it look soft in like the little process video. Like I'm just drawing on top of this, carving into metal like it's nothing.
I mean, that's like cool. Look at it's just
It's
cool.
really cool.
Like, variations on the exact same coin. Like it's just cool that.
So I'm guessing he sells. Not that I'm questioning the legality of it, but that's kind of meta that he's taking money and.
Yeah, he does sell them, and they're not cheap. Here, we can go on his big cartel real quick and have a look. So I mean, some of them are like $5. The ones that he's just like makes into necklaces, but the ones that he really carves, like this is a Indian head penny, and he sells it for $40.
Whoa.
50. They're all like right around $50. I suppose it depends on. This is $235, but that's like a ring. I suppose it depends on the original rarity and cost of the coin, but like here's some $100 ones.
Wow. $100 for a quarter.
I'd be curious how long it takes him to make one of these.
Yeah. Like I want to see it in real time. Like throw your webcam at your desk. I want to see how hard it is.
He probably jumped on live video every once in a while.
I just feel like
He's like streaming on Instagram as he's defacing
basically
currency.
legal currency.
Yeah, I mean it's technically not legal what he's doing, but who's gonna stop him?
It looks cool.
They have to catch him first, just in this hideout.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Check him
I
out.
would have
He's
got away with it if it wasn't for those.
There's no face. It's always a wooden desk. This wooden desk can be anything.
JBS_creation.
Good old JB.
That's pretty cool. Hey, he's following 177 people. See if he's following Sketch Zone.
He's probably following the Fed to make sure they don't come after him.
Exactly. Keep my list short and sweet.
Hey Corey,
What's up?
you wanna show off anyone?
Yeah, I'm gonna show some. I was telling you guys about this before the show a little bit, but when I was down in Hawaii, I went into an art gallery because they are having a Dr. Seuss exhibit, kind of like a traveling exhibit. Some sculptures and like some original prints and concepts of like the Hop on Pop book, like the cover, which is really cool. So that's why I went in there. But while I was in there looking at some other art, I came across a guy who I guess is part owner of the gallery. So I don't have any of the names of the gallery, but this is the artist's name is, it's Roy Tabora. So here, I'll give you a website. And then let me share. Sorry, let's do this. So, what's really cool is this. He does a lot of like these Hawaiian landscapes. And to be honest, this website does not do it any justice. But the way it's lit, you can remember this in a gallery, the way this wave, this lighting here, it's like it's glowing when you see it. It's like it's backlit by an LED, and it's not. He has such vibrant color. I was in awe. And all of his paintings have some focal point of like that color. Usually it's a similar wave. This doesn't have the wave, but like that shininess of the moon and reflection. Like I said, these don't do it great justice. Is this another one? Is this the same one? Yeah, this was my favorite one, I think, that I saw at the gallery. Yeah, but he does, like, original, I mean, it's expensive art. This is at the gallery, but he does do prints or duplicates. But what he does is when he does a print of it, because, oh, that's the thing. So all the white caps of the wave are texture on the paint. So it actually comes off the canvas.
Nice.
So when he does a reprint, he goes in himself and by hand repaints that texture onto all the canvas.
Wow.
Are you serious? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So even with a print, you're kind of getting something semi-original.
Oh, definitely.
Cool.
Which is why it's still pretty expensive, but I mean, it's $1,500 for a print and $5,000 for original or something like that. And they're pretty big. Like this one is 16 by 12. He's got some big ones, and I just came to this website, so I don't know what other pages he has, but he has some other ones. They're just fantastic. So I hadn't really looked him up since coming home, but since we're talking about guys, it's like I'm taking that inspiration of that style and that just kind of boldness. Because he says, I talked to the owner of the gallery, and he was saying that the way he works is he paints under the lighting that the gallery is going to have, that he then demands the gallery has. So he works under the final lighting conditions. And then he duplicates that in the gallery, which is why everything is like, he'll have the light pointed right at the wave cap that is supposed to be highlighted, and it's,
oh my God,
it's glowing. It's amazing. I also want to show, so this is sharing a quick one, but speaking of motion graphics a little more, in our field of study, for those that don't have kids, but all you motion graphics people, I've been inspired by Hey Dougie. If you don't know what Hey Dougie is, Charlie knows. I won't show a clip or anything. Just Google Hey Dougie. It's a great, this is all done in what was Flash, whatever it's called now, Animator or Adobe Animate. I forget which one it is.
Because everyone still calls it Flash.
Yeah. But it's a great style. You can see it's very, this is the art style, but it's animated in such a way that it's so,
that's awesome.
It's almost like motion graphics, but it's so smooth and so great that if you're looking for some motion graphics inspiration, that's what I'm using for my inspiration. Like everything, I'm thinking, like, okay, what would Hey Dougie look like if I was doing it? So that's my little tip for.
That's awesome.
Looking for some outside the box thinking without kids.
Hey Dougie.
Because you would never know about these shows unless you have kids to watch them with.
Now Jack will watch it. Binge watch it, Jack.
Wait a minute.
Watch it right now.
What's up? What's now? What happened?
Said I'm watching right now.
No. Check this out. I've been so I've been fascinated with the new Sketch Zone fun prompter.
Oh yeah. Have you found a feature I didn't show?
I think I did.
Yeah.
So let's just say you want to check adjective, animal, and character, but you want to make sure that the character, you want to draw a specific character.
Yep.
So I'm going to just type in bear.
You just type it in and lock it down.
And lock it down.
To say, I really want to do dragons, you just put it in there.
And then when you hit prompt me, dude.
It's a dynamic.
Magic.
It is. It's an open input. You can type into it so that you can add your own stuff if you want to get inspiration about something you're already working on.
So we can do the action is going to be
Share your screen.
Worried Charlie.
no. Hold on. All right. Let's see.
Prompt me.
Okay, so let's say the action is going to be animate. I'm going to lock it down. Boop, and you hit prompt me.
You got a
So there's
slippery
a slippery
crawfish
crawfish soldier animating. Boom! Mind blown.
Jack gets the MVP for this evening. This is really great. I didn't know it was an open chat thing.
A greedy swordfish samurai animating in a Sunday morning comic style while well, I should have said it a different way. A greedy swordfish samurai animating in a shopping mall in the Sunday morning comic style. I love this. This is gonna take up so much of my time.
Are you redoing the prompts or just hitting the prompting button and just going through all of them?
No, you just hit prompt me.
You just hit the button a bunch of times.
A rich beetle animating.
Cybernetic squid cable.
Art Deco. How would you animate it? That's cool.
Finicky Chihuahua.
Angel scrubbing docks.
I like the cybernetic squid cable.
Undefined, and I'm glad that undefined is there too.
That means I got a short list.
Yeah, Sunday morning comic. Yeah, for the record, we can just go ahead and turn off style. I'm still trying to find my style. Don't force me into a
Put in
box.
Carlos's style.
Cybernetic T-Rex cable guy coughing.
Poopy.
This is so good.
Danger skunk driver coughing in New York in a poopy style.
Poopy style.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's my last thing. Pro tip. Anybody that has, I've learned this from my friend Marta. Anyone that has an Amazon Echo, go to your Amazon Echo and ask Alexa, or not Echo, Alexa, Amazon, like whatever that one is. Ask her to fart.
Let me see if this one will do it.
Hey,
Hey, Google, make a fart.
Playing a whisper in the noise on Pandora.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Google, stop.
Alexa does it, and then because on Marta's Instagram, my friend's Instagram, she does it, and it's a long, large, like
Wet
fart.
It's pretty gross, but funny.
She's like, I learned something new today. I couldn't wait to get home. Anyway.
Corey Stisser, the animator. If people want to find your work and follow your work online, can they do such a thing?
Sorta. Like I said, I'm not a huge. This week I'm going to get better like Instagram. I'm going to do what all these kids are doing in Instagram and all that stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I did tweet for a while. I had a Twitter where I did mostly jokes. It was more for my comedic stuff. When I was left alone with the girls, tweeting dad stuff. But my work, best bet is Vimeo. That's where I post stuff and updates. I don't really have a web page. Maybe that'll change in the future. Was it Vimeo/Corey Stisser? What is that page?
Yeah.
I think you posted it on the.
Yeah,
sketch.
we have it. We have it
So
on
that's
the
the best.
episode page.
That's the best. LinkedIn, I'm on. That's a good place. I'm on LinkedIn. If you do what's my Twitter? Hang on. It's my Twitter is the rule of threes. Like the number 3. Oh.
That is so good.
So that's
Cool.
that's my Twitter. So and
Awesome.
I think I posted. Did I? I did. So occasionally I'll tweet a joke or something, and I'm gonna get better about all that.
Cool.
Yeah. Once I become an Instagram star, I'll let you know where to find me.
Once you're Insta famous,
Insta famous.
that's a term I learned this weekend hanging out with my sister's kids. They're like, "Oh, you should follow her. She's Insta famous." I'm like, "Then she doesn't need my follow. Then don't be ruining my ratio." Hey Charles, if people are looking for you online, where can they find you?
You find me a couple different places. You find me on Instagram, Instagram.com/CharlieBW3. You can find me on my website, cargocollective.com/CharlieBWilliams. Find me on the almighty Pinterest, Pinterest.com/CharlieBW3. Twitter, let's not even talk about Twitter.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, how about you?
You can find me at sketchbookjack.com and sketchbookjack on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, Jack.
And I'm Carlos. You can find me at basically coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. Oh yeah, and carlosargomez.com too, because I forget that Coconut Justice sponsors you to my YouTube channel because I don't have enough followers to actually have a legit YouTube. Anyway, this is Sketch Zone, episode 146. So there's 145 other ones of these.
Jewels.
So if you think having triplets is a lot of work,
pure gold.
Try having 145 of them.
Oh yeah.
You have 145 babies, Carlos. Congratulations.
Yeah. Let me apologize to everyone who actually has real baby triplets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Behance, Twitch. I try to be all over the place. This is Sketch Zone. Go to sketch.zone to find out. We have links to literally everything out there.
Yep.
I just found out that if you go to sketch.zone/ what is it? Fun prompt.
There's also a button on the main menu.
Yeah, go do that. And I think what we're gonna do, because I met a lot of artists that are looking, number one, are looking for things to draw, and number two, looking to stream with folks. So I think what we're gonna do is use the fun prompter. It's not gonna be, we're gonna have our legit thing. That one's not gonna change. But if anyone ever wants to get together and Insta stream,
sure,
holla at your boy. What else? We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter, on Instagram, instagram.com/sketchzonepodcast. And remember, once you draw this week, we are drawing Termite performing in a dojo, or Termite performing dojo. You can take it from there. Do what you want with that. Go ahead and tag us. Go through the actual process of hitting the button that says tag people and then tag us, because otherwise it gets lost in the whole feed, that heart feed thing. Oh, and if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. That's down, probably down there would be my guess.
Yep.
And then there's a little bell. Click on that. So every time we go live, anytime we have some sort of action, you'll be alerted. But if you are on Twitch, watching us live on Twitch, click wherever the button is up there. So then you will also be involved in the show. There you go. But if you can't watch us live, go ahead and find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and of course, iTunes. I think that's it for us.
Think so.
Everyone have a wonderful week.
See you, everybody.
Right. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Been great.